The final game of this wild card weekend is in San Diego, the Chargers and the Indianapolis Colts. The winner has a date next Sunday in the divisional playoffs with the Kansas City Chiefs. Jim Harbaugh started the season as the Colts' backup. He finishes it as the highest-rated quarterback in the NFL. He takes the Colts to their first playoff game in 8 years. The Chargers' Stan Humphries has recovered sufficiently from last week's concussion and sprained neck. He'll start today, and he has the defending AFC champions on a roll. They have won 5 in a row. Hi, everyone. Greg Gumbel, along with Mike Ditka, Joe Gibbs, Joe Montana. We'll be joined shortly by Ahmad Rashad and Will McDonough. Happy New Year to you and yours, the Bolts and the Colts. And let's hope we can avoid the kind of football that we saw yesterday. How does a team not show up the way two teams did yesterday?
Greg, it's really hard to say because, here's two teams that played so hard to get into the playoffs. And, maybe they were lucky to get in, but they got in. Detroit tried to meld in, and Miami, I've never seen worse tackling in my life.
Joe?
I think Detroit had two things going against them. They had won 7 straight. Everybody was bragging on them. Everybody was calling Philadelphia names. Philadelphia was in the right frame of mind. The second thing, they were a dome team playing outside. Out of the last 20 times, outside in cold weather, out of the last 20 times that's happened, they've had 2 wins and 18 losses.
Do you have trouble getting up for a playoff game, ever?
Not at all. For a while there, we weren't even in the playoffs, so we were just having to get up for regular games. But as a quarterback, we always had competitions, even during practice, so we were up for all those.
All right, Joe. Just one spot remains in next weekend's divisional playoffs. Either Indianapolis or San Diego will claim it, with the Packers continuing to win today. And with that claim will be a date with the Chiefs next Sunday in Kansas City. The Colts are a playoff team for the first time since 1987. The Chargers are a playoff team for the 3rd time in 4 years under Bobby Ross. But it took 5 straight wins to get there. Dick Enberg, Paul McGuire, and Phil Simms join us now for a report. Happy New Year, gentlemen.
Oh, Happy New Year, Greg. The weather-wise, the Chargers, the Thunderbolts, are a contradiction to the weather here in San Diego. Another beautiful day, sunny and in the 70s. And the fans of the defending AFC champions out early for a final day of 1995 football picnic. It's a college football atmosphere, and fans hope to get the same excitement as these two teams produced 2 weeks ago in Indianapolis. Stan Humphries hitting 2 long touchdown passes to Tony Martin, and Marshall Faulk answering for the Colts down to the final seconds before San Diego's John Carney won it 27-24, part of a season-ending 5-game winning streak for Alex Spanos, the Chargers and company, and that got them into the playoffs. Actually, they've had 5 playoff games, and a week ago in New York, Charger fans very concerned they wouldn't have their quarterback today.
Yeah, they lost their breath. Stan Humphries went down with the sprained neck, so there was some concern. But this week, for the first time on Wednesday, he put a helmet on, and he said it felt like a 30-pound weight going on in my head. But he does feel good. We saw him in practice on Friday. He threw the ball exceptionally well, moved around, so health shouldn't be a problem for him.
Marshall Faulk played at San Diego State. He did not play much last week. Bad knee. How will he be able to work today?
There was speculation of Marshall Faulk, a deep knee bruise. Are you kidding? Marshall Faulk is coming back to where he played his college football. He's never been back here as a pro. And I'm going to tell you something. We talked to him yesterday. Marshall Faulk said, well, I'm about 85%. But he looked at me on the way out the door and he says, by game time, I should be 100.
3-time All-American here with the Aztecs, and he averaged 153 yards rushing in each of his 18 home games. And a bonus for the Chargers, Natron might play today.
Natron's back, and he's healthy. He practiced this week for the first time for quite a while, and he was spry. His legs were fresh. Now with him, along with Aaron Hayden, the Charger game is stronger than ever.
Well, as we get ready for the kickoff, let's go down to the floor of the Murph and Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Dick. Well, I spoke to both coaches, and they will deliver 2 very different messages to their team as they now head into the locker room. First, for Bobby Ross and the Chargers, he's going to emphasize to his team execution. He says that we must be more consistent running the ball and keep the pressure off the passing game and Stan Humphries. Defensively, he wants to make the Colts one-dimensional, take away their running game, and force them to pass. Now, as for Ted Marchibroda, there are 2 points he's going to talk about. First, he's going to say there's not a clear-cut favorite in the AFC, that it's wide open and that we are as good as any team. And secondly, he just wants them to relax. He doesn't want them to worry about their playoff inexperience. He's going to tell them that last week's victory against New England was their first playoff game. Finally, he said, no Knute Rockne speeches today because I don't want to get them all riled up. I just want them to be happy, content that they're here, and then play well once they get into the game. Dick?
All right, Jim, we'll take it here in the studio. And if we have some classic footage for you, you're going to love it. Mike Ditka talking to Jim Harbaugh And Joe Gibbs with Stan Humphrey standing alongside of him, the two quarterbacks that are starting in today's game. As you watch this, you're shaking your head. Why?
Because Joe would never talk to his quarterback. I was always trying to keep my guys well informed of what was going on.
Verbally abusing him. That's the calmest I've ever seen him with his quarterback right there.
Tell us about Stan Humphries, Joe.
He's smart, he's talented, he can throw any kind of pass. He has a tendency to be a big play guy and go downfield. The fact that he competes and wants to make things happen, he exposes himself to being hurt. There's a mismatch, though, here, Greg, and it's not at quarterback, it's at special teams. Indy is on the bottom in almost every category, San Diego on the top.
All right, Mike, you've been singing Jim Harbaugh's praises all season long.
Well, guts, leadership. I mean, this guy is the driving force behind this offense right now. He's done a great job. He's going to have to be able to move around today, stay away from the rush to survival.
Joe, you have liked what the Colts have been accomplishing as well.
Yeah, and if you look at my record, I feel bad for him. But I do like the Colts, and the main reason is Harbaugh. Everybody likes Marshall Faulk. But I like what Jim Harbaugh's done. He's making great decisions at the right time of the year, and also I like his mobility in the pocket, being able to move around. He's not a big runner, but he'll run if you give him the chance. He's moving around there trying to make something happen.
Okay, the Colts have lost 4 in a row to the Chargers, with more on San Diego. Let's go to Ahmad.
All right, Greg, last year the San Diego Chargers surprised a lot of people by getting to the Super Bowl, but the road back has been anything but easy. For the entire Chargers family, it's been a year filled with adversity and emotional setbacks.
One good thing I thought that could come out of a loss like that would be that it wouldn't sit well with anybody. The guys would be even more motivated to come back and go at it in the off season and training camp and get ready to prove that we're better than what we showed in that game. But that didn't happen.
This season's dedicated to David, and we're going to go out there and try to get back to the Super Bowl, you know, for his family.
We've had to deal with a lot of things that are off the field, but for us to get to the point we're at right now to play the first game at home, I think that, you know, we're happy with the way the season has ended up. We're not happy with the way it's gone.
Right now, we're not mathematically eliminated, but I told them this, that don't even think about the playoffs right now.
It's hard to find a turning point when you're 4-7. You know, when you're 4-7, you win one game, you're still under 500. You win another game at 5-7, you're still under 500. You're climbing out of hope. We are still feeling as if we have something to prove yet, and that's nice because then there ain't no room, or there isn't any room for complacency.
We're back.
The biggest challenge, the biggest hump to get over as a team is being able to overcome adversity, and you still have to have someone to teach you how or to instill that in the team, and I think that's one of the great qualities that Coach Ross has.
You can feel like it's, you know, you've been overwhelmed a little bit, but I think, and maybe there was a momentary feeling of that throughout the year. You put it behind yourself real quickly, because if you start to dwell on the negative and you start to allow that to consume you, then you're gonna, you know, you're gonna be totally negative, and you don't want that to happen.
Leave a little bit of yourself on that field. Let's break our win on 3. 1, 2, 3.
It's a tribute to Coach Ross. Coach Ross kind of keeps you together. He doesn't always point out a bunch of negatives. He always tries to keep the positive going. And this football team is a football team of great heart and desire, and loves to win. And I think that's the reason we've turned it around.
We've been in the playoff berth. We've been in a wild card team before, and you know, it's not new to us, you know, and we're not going to take it as you know, a do-or-die situation of going out there and panicking. We're going to go out there and have fun. We're going to play like we know how to play and continue on this streak right now. And we're not looking to participate in the postseason. We're looking to win it.
All right, so San Diego has made it to the playoffs. Just how good is this team, Joe?
Well, I think they're pretty lucky to be where they are, and I think they were lucky to be where they were last year. I don't think they were the best team in the AFC to represent the AFC. I thought Pittsburgh should have been there. I think things fell into place for them late in the year and got them to where they are. The other thing is, if you listen to what Junior says, that these guys have dug out from 4-7, and they're just happy to be here. Right now, they're taking a big sigh of relief, and the next thing you know, here comes the next steamroller right in Indianapolis.
Mike, your take on the Chargers?
Well, my take on the Chargers, here's a team that should have folded up to 10. 4-7, you heard a lot of guys talking, discontentment. Bobby Ross has held this team together. He's done an outstanding job, and he might really be the coach of the year, because I don't think it's that talented a team.
well, they're in the playoffs. Can they make it to the Super Bowl?
I don't think so. I just don't think they have enough tools offensively and defensively to get the job done.
All right, up next, we'll turn our attention to the Colts. We'll hear from Marshall Faulk when the NFL on NBC continues after these messages.
Up here. By Compact. Has it changed your life yet? And by Kodak Paper. Ask for Kodak Paper, the sign of a great photo finisher.
Marshall Faulk led the Colts in rushing, as you would expect, and also led them with 56 receptions. Today, he returns to Jack Murphy Stadium, where he starred in college at San Diego State. The guy who's gotten a lot of attention this year on the Colts offense is Jim Harbaugh, and deservedly so, but there's no question that if the Colts are to win, they need a big game from Marshall Faulk. He spoke with Greg.
From everything that I read and everything that I hear, you sitting down like this for one of these is kind of rare. Are you at war with the media?
No, I wouldn't say I'm at war with the media. I just, you know, early in the season, our running game was having, you know, we were struggling. My best thing is, you know, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything. And my line wasn't doing too good, but I know that they were doing their best that they could at the time. And reporters were coming at me, people were pitching stuff at me, wanting me to say things about my offensive line. I don't have anything bad to say. Those guys are professionals just like myself, and I'm gonna conduct myself in a professional way. I asked them not to ask me about that, and they constantly asked me. I mean, they beat around the bush and asked questions about it, and I just said, okay, I'm through with it.
Well, you brought up this offensive line situation. There have been reports, and I know you heard them, that you hadn't talked to your offensive line in, what, 2 weeks, was it? Where'd they come from?
You know, personally, I want to ask Chris Morrison, where did he get that information? I don't know how you can be on the same team with guys and be in the same huddle with guys and not talk to them and not discuss certain things that goes on the field prior to the game and during the game. So, I mean, that's incredible.
But it's not true.
That's not true.
You're not at odds with your offensive line?
Not at all. I understand that, you know, basically, I mean, they're doing the best they can. People are throwing everything at us. I mean, they're coming at us. They're out to stop me. And, you know, some teams have success doing it and some of them don't.
You had some great years at San Diego State. How do you feel about going back there as the enemy?
I hope they don't look at me as the enemy out there. I gave them some great years.
What do you want to bet you're going to walk into that stadium and you're the enemy?
You think they're going? Everybody's been telling me that they're going to boo me, but I hope not. It feels great to go back. I have a lot of people I've been talking to, and I had a couple of old college professors of mine call me and tell me that they're going to be rooting for us, even though they like the Chargers, but they're more of Aztec fans, and it's just great. It's, you know, I don't know what I'm gonna feel like when I step on that field, but I know it's gonna be something positive.
With over 60,000 at San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium to see the champions of the AFC East, Miami, against the best of the AFC West, San Diego.
The funny thing about it is last year, I was at the Miami and San Diego Charger game, and I was sitting up there with some friends, and I said, next year we'll be here. The Colts will be playing in the playoff game, and it just so happened to be against the Chargers in the stadium that I sat and watched the game and said we were going to be playing that.
Here's a guy, Joe, that can do almost everything offensively. How do you prepare for him defensively?
It's extremely tough, Ahmad. Think about all the great athletes who played the game, all the great running backs. How many of them could go out and lead their team as a receiver? You're one of the few athletes that could do that, but we couldn't make you run the football.
Smart.
Or afraid. But this guy, all of a sudden you're in the backfield, he's your leading rusher. Now you take him and set him outside. Dave Adolph, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, says it causes a nightmare. You get bad matchups when he's outside.
All right, Joe, and having a guy like that in the huddle's got to give you a lot of confidence. You had a situation like that with Roger Craig in San Francisco.
Well, definitely. And I think the one thing about Marshall Faulk, though, is he's a lot more explosive than Roger Craig. He's got a lot more speed, a lot more maneuverability out there in the open space. And when you look at him, people are saying, well, his numbers are down from last year. But you got to remember, they got Lindy Infante's offense coming in. He likes to move things around a little bit. Right now, it's 50-50 run. That's a good sequence to have as an offensive coordinator. The other thing is that you got to watch out for, though. We don't know really how healthy he is. Last week against the Patriots, he left in the first half and didn't return.
Joe, I still say that I was smart, not afraid. Greg?
magna cum football. Let's look back at yesterday's games. A couple of one-sided blowouts. The Eagles crushed the Lions 58-37. Those 95 points, the most ever in a postseason game. And the Bills continued their postseason mastery of the Dolphins with a 37-22 win. The designated Dolphin killer has been Thurman Thomas. He had another sensational day. 158 yards rushing and a touchdown, 42 yards receiving. In all, the Bills rushed for 341 yards, second highest total in NFL postseason history. Rookie Derek Holmes goes 21 yards for a touchdown here to put Buffalo up 17-0. He ran for 87 yards. They averaged almost 7 yards a carry. Don Shula and defensive coordinator Tom Olivadotti had no answers. Jim Kelly capped the first half scoring with a 37-yard strike to Steve Tasker. The Bills led 24-0 at halftime and coasted to a 15-point win.
It's a tough way to remember the season, but Buffalo played a heck of a ball game, and they're a strong football team right now. I'm very disappointed in a way that we challenged or didn't challenge.
This is our rivalry. You know, this is who, you know, this city wants us to beat, really. Whether we go 2-14, make sure the main victories that we get are against the Miami Dolphins.
Take it from us. Mike Ditka watched that game in utter disbelief, didn't you?
Well, you know, they say you win the playoffs by playing good defense and rushing the football. Now, Buffalo's a prime example of that. Their offensive line did a great job. Thurman Thomas, outstanding. But then again, the tackling on the other side was very, very poor. It's almost impossible. If you said you bet anybody you're going to rush the ball for 340 yards a game, what would you say?
No, we couldn't do it. We probably couldn't do that in practice.
Yep.
All right, and whose fault is it?
Well, I think you got to blame the players. The players are out there tackling. But then on the other hand, give Buffalo credit. Buffalo's a team on the move. They have three things going for them. They can rush the football, they can play defense, and they can rush the passer with 4 men.
All right, Coach, looking at the divisional playoff matchups in the AFC, Buffalo now headed to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers in the early game next Saturday. The winner of the Colts and Chargers visits Kansas City in the late Sunday game next week. Take a moment here. All of us at NBC wish to extend our condolences to the family of former NBC football analyst Al DeRogatis, who passed away last week at the age of 68. Among his many assignments for NBC was the historic broadcast of Super Bowl III with Kurt Gowdy.
If the New York Jets are to win this football game today, Kurt, I firmly believe they must get 100 to 130 yards on the ground, 9 to 13 first downs. If they do that, this is going to be a whale of a football game.
Murphy Stadium today, and that means no snowballs. You recall last week when the snow and ice were flying at the Chargers in Giant Stadium. On Friday, the Giants took out a full-page ad in a San Diego newspaper apologizing to the entire Chargers team and wishing them well as they begin the defense of their AFC crown. Greg?
All right, Ahmad, time to turn now to Will McDonough, who joins us here in the studio for the latest NFL news. Will.
Greg, let's start by taking a look at the list of coaches who are supposed to be in trouble. How about Don Shula and Wayne Fontes after yesterday? I think Don Shula is going to be back. The owner, Wayne Huizenga, is going to let him make the call, and I think he wants to return. Wayne Fontes has been told make the playoffs, and he did. Jim Mora has already been told in New Orleans he's going to be back to coach. Dan Reeves meets with the Giants owners this week, and they told me they want him back. Mike White in Oakland looked like he was in trouble when he lost the last 6 games of the year. I've been told he'll be back. Bill Belichick of the Browns meets with his owner, Art Modell, in Baltimore this week to find out his fate. There are opening spots now in Tampa Bay and Arizona for coaches. I think in Tampa Bay, the guys they're going to look at are Steve Spurrier of Florida, John Mackovic of Texas, and their own defensive coordinator, Rusty Tillman. Throw those guys into the mix, pull Tillman out, and add Terry Donahue of UCLA out in Arizona, and I think that's the group they're going to look at. But a bigger story in Arizona, I think, is going to develop after the Super Bowl. Right now here, the Cardinals are very hot, talking to people in Los Angeles about possibly selling the team there to somebody that will buy it off Bill Bidwell or else become a minor partner with Bill Bidwell. Let's look around the league at the injuries. Buffalo first. Steve Tasker and Lonnie Johnson questionable for next week, but the big thing, they get Henry Jones, their strong safetyman, back after 3 weeks. Pittsburgh, Eric Pegram, Bam Morris, their 2 running backs are back. They missed the final game, but more, Chad Brown, their best linebacker in terms of coverage, will return. Jeff George. People talk about him going to free agency. I've been told by Vice President Ken Herrock this week of the Falcons, if they have to, they will designate him the franchise player. And who could finish a report without mentioning Deion and Jerry? They're at it again. I've been told Jerry Jones once again renegotiated Deion Sanders' contract this week. And here's the deal. Deion gave Jerry $1 million back in a bonus. But Jerry liked it so much, he said, no, Deion, I'm going to give you back $250 a year in salary. Now, the league's going to ask, can both do both? Greg.
I have no clue. Well, thank you. Dion, Jerry, and the rest of the Cowboys had a vital interest in the early game today, which took place in Green Bay. The Packers hosting the Atlanta Falcons at Lambeau Field, where the Pack had won 17 of the previous 18. This is Atlanta's second possession. Jeff George scrambles out of trouble, and he's got the arm to find Eric Metcalf behind the defense. 65-yard touchdown when all is said and done here as the Falcons jump to a 7-0 lead. Is Metcalf going to jump into the seats? Not in Lambeau Field, he won't. Score tied at 7 late in the first. Brett Favre to his favorite target, wide receiver Robert Brooks, 14-yard touchdown, and Brooks will take the plunge. 14-7 Green Bay. It was 14-10 when the Pack pulled away in the second quarter. Antonio Freeman on the punt return to the left sideline. Punter Dan Straczynski to beat. No problem. 76 yards for the touchdown. It was 27-10 at halftime. Green Bay won it going away. The score 37-20 as the Packers eliminate the Atlanta Falcons. With the Packer victory, here's how the NFC divisional playoffs shape up for next weekend. Green Bay will be at San Francisco in the late Saturday game. Philadelphia travels to Dallas for the early Sunday game. And we are back to wrap things up right after this.
Imagine a satellite system that received sport utility vehicles and minivans. Joe Gibbs won last Sunday to take a 2-game lead over Will McDonough. We'll have this week's picks right after this message from Honda.
In the end zone last week allows Joe Gibbs to have a 2-game lead with just 3 picks left today. Joe Montana, Mike, and Ahmad take the Colts. Joe Gibbs, Will, and I like the San Diego Chargers. First 3 games in this weekend's game series. Average margin of victory, 18 points. What's going on?
We deserve to have a good game. Let's let NBC have it. We need one right here.
It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a close one.
How do you like these picks going?
I'm just going to take last place and go home.
Darn right you are. We'll see you at halftime when we're joined by Neil Smith of the Kansas City Chiefs. Colts and Chargers coming up after these words from your local station.
For Indianapolis Colts quarterback Jim Harbaugh, it's been an improbable road to today's playoff appearance. Son of a college coach, he was a record-setting quarterback at the University of Michigan. Harbaugh, a first-round draft choice of the Chicago Bears, where he served his professional apprenticeship under fiery and sometimes unforgiving coach Mike Ditka. After 8 draining years with the Bears, Harbaugh was unceremoniously released. 2 seasons ago, the Colts brought in Harbaugh as a free agent. This season, he's gone from backup to the top-rated quarterback in the NFL. Number 4 has earned the title Captain Comeback, playing his best with a game on the line. 4 times this season, he's brought his team back from fourth-quarter deficits, including a win over Super Bowl champion San Francisco. His elusive scrambling style keeps defenses off balance, providing time and space for his receivers. Harbaugh's self-proclaimed ugly duckling style has Indy fans smiling and the league wondering. Today, Harbaugh accepts the challenge of the defending AFC champion, San Diego Chargers. Their leader, tough and tenacious linebacker Junior Seau. Last year, his inspirational play carried the Chargers to the Super Bowl. Now the wild card. Can Harbaugh continue his captain comeback heroics, resurrecting a team and career all at once? Or will Seau's playoff savvy bolt strike lightning again? Celebrate New Year's Eve in San Diego. The Colts and the Chargers to fill that 8th spot in the playoffs for next weekend. Here's how it looks. Miami losing to Buffalo yesterday, so the Bills impressively go on to Pittsburgh Saturday, and Kansas City awaits the winner of our game today, 61,000 plus at the Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego with Phil Simms and Paul McGuire. Welcome aboard. One of the great stories of this football year belongs to 30-year-old Jim Harbaugh. Many gave him up as a backup quarterback. Here he has the top rating efficiency in the league.
That's right. A lot of people did give up on him, and in the past, Jim Harbaugh has been hampered by his coaches who always told him, just go out there today, Jim, and don't lose the football game for our team. Well, this year he's hearing a different story.
Well, from don't lose it, we asked Ted Marcher, Broda, what do you do as the coach? He said, I give him one simple message before every game.
Before you die, he said, so I think the big thing, just remember, let her rip now.
Okay.
This one we have to.
All right.
This is it.
You
So
got
let
it.
her all the way. Okay.
And Marcia Broda again to Harbaugh. Let it rip.
Let it rip. What a great thing to tell your quarterback before a big game. Take the pressure right off of him. And what it does, it lets you relax physically and mentally and lets you go out there and play to your capabilities.
All right, on the other side, quarterback Stan Humphries of San Diego.
Well, Stan Humphries, of course, last year he led this team to the Super Bowl, and everybody always talks about him. Stan Humphries, one of the toughest quarterbacks in the National Football League. Well, there's some skill to go along with this toughness. Just ask the Indianapolis coach defensive backs, which found out this guy has a great arm. Stay back or he'll hit the long pass on you.
Well, if you're old enough, you remember a San Diego Charger linebacker named Paul McGuire. Not really one of the greats, mind you, but he keeps his eyes on those guys with 50s or 55s on their uniform.
I'll tell you one thing, Dick. In the National Football League, in the history of the National Football League, there are very few dominant players on defense. And I'll tell you, there's one of them right here. Junior Seau, his tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Last week, he took over the second half of the game. Now he hits Dave Brown's arm. Sean Gale goes 99 yards for a touchdown, and here's Junior picking up a fumble. He does it all. He is a dominant player.
And the Colts have a number 55, Quentin Coriat.
Well, when Quentin Coriat first came to the Colts, he didn't live up to the expectation that the Colts wanted. But now he has. He is the dominant player on defense for this football team. And in order for the Indianapolis Colts to really slow down the Charger running game, this guy must have a good football game.
The weather ideal, temperature in the 70s. How about the field condition, Jim Gray?
Well, Dick, the field really is in very bad shape. They played the Holiday Bowl here on Friday night, and they tore it up. Right now, it's really just dirt covered with sand. They've painted it so it looks good, but it's not good at all. Now, earlier, a lot of the players were out trying to get some traction, but it's slick. It's almost like running on the beach. So, Dick, this field's going to be a mess before this game is over, and it could affect the players' performance.
Well, the inside running games may be crucial then. Bobby Ross, Lieutenant Tank Commander, VMI graduate, military is life. Boss Ross against Ted Marcher-Broda in his 33rd year in the NFL as a coach. One of the most likable men in the game. Indianapolis will receive. John Carney sends this final wild card playoff a spinner to the goal line. Lamont Warren, the star last week for Indianapolis, covered at the 15-yard line. David Hendricks. Harbaugh. 63.7%, 5 interceptions, lowest in the league. Here are the men that have protected him well. Wolford, a Pro Bowler many times. Dixon, Loudermilk, Stasiak, former Charger, and Jason Matthews. Marshall Faulk scored 14 touchdowns, goes to the Pro Bowl with Harbaugh. Crockett for the injured Roosevelt Potts. Dawkins and Turner outside. Rookie from Illinois, Ken Dilger, has been outstanding. Stabline and Bailey enter when the Colts go 4 wide. Harbaugh begins from the 15-yard line. This crowd creating quite a ruckus, but they can't stop Marshall Faulk, who breaks almost away down the sidelines. A 16-yard gain on his first carry for the former All-America at San Diego State.
But what happens here? The San Diego Chargers trying to penetrate on the opening play of the game. You see him get upfield. Marshall Faulk makes a great adjustment, breaks it outside. No defensive players there to make the tackle for the big game.
Faulk led the Colts in scoring, 11 rushing touchdowns, 3 receiving. Leading rusher and receiver, caught 56 passes. Warren comes in to give him a breather. Harbaugh's first pass, off play action. All day to throw, and he finds Sean Dawkins. And Dawkins with his first catch out across the 35-yard line, a gain of about 6.
Well, this is the one thing that this guy, you talked about him in the opening, Harbaugh, what he does. Now watch, when he goes back, everyone's covered. So he just takes his time and slides to his left, finds an open receiver, and hits him.
Good job by Sean Dawkins right there. He goes down. He sees Jim Harbaugh scrambling a little, so he does a good job of adjusting. Jim Harbaugh throws it low outside.
Second and a long 3. Warren moves up on the slot. And Harbaugh to throw. Deep. Incomplete to Warren. Covered by Bo Orlando. Colts against the Bolts, and here are the San Diego defenders. They use a 4-3 alignment defensively. Mims, Lee, Davis, and Leslie O'Neal with 12.5 sacks this year, 5th best in the league. Bush, Gordon, and the incomparable Seau at backer. Harper had an outstanding year, co-MVP by his teammates. Clark of Notre Dame, the other corner. Gale and Orlando, the 2 new safeties in San Diego this year. And in the dime, Terran Shaw, their top pick out of Stephen F. Austin, comes in, along with Eric Castle. Third, and it's a long 3. And Harbaugh goes down at the 28-yard line. Chris Mims, who had only 2 sacks all year, gets the first of this game.
It was a good job of the San Diego secondary. Watch them as they go down the field. The Indianapolis receiver, there's nobody open. Look at it right here. Everybody's covered across the field. So Jim Harbaugh tries to scramble, but he can't. Chris Mims comes up with the sack.
Chris Gardocki into punt, and dangerous Andre Coleman inside the San Diego 30. And Coleman has trouble handling some punts. Catches this one cleanly at the 33. 39-yard punt, no return. We're underway in San Diego. Back in San Diego, Marshall Faulk carried 16 yards for a scrimmage play, but then left the game. They were looking at that bruised left knee. We do not know if he has re-injured it. San Diego in that offensive huddle, Swain, Moten, Hall, they consider their best offensive linemen. Kukuso and Parker, a very big line. Humphreys has Aaron Hayden. He told us Aaron and Sean Jefferson, Tony Martin, 90 catches this year. Double tight end Young and Papuno, and Ronnie Harmon, an excellent third down back. Good pass receiver, and on first down, Hayden gets the call for about 3 against this Colt defense. Not well known, but as a team play very effectively. They've improved incredibly. Whittington, McCoy, Saragusa, and Tony Bennett. Bennett the sacker. He has 10.5 to lead the team. Grant Herrod again led the Colts in tackles, and Coriat. Buchanan and Daniel at the corners, and Tate Belser play safety. McElroy and Ambrose enter in their dime. Humphrey's first pass is to the sidelines. Caught by Rodney Harrison there, waiting for a possible opportunity.
Yeah, just outstanding coverage by Ray Buchanan, and he told us yesterday that he would rather play man-to-man on the outside, and we're seeing more and more of that, Phil, this year, talking to the corners that love to play man-to-man as opposed to zone.
Ray Buchanan says, I want to get up there and bump them, throw their timing off, and he says, I want to gamble today. Every chance I get, I'm going to gamble.
Ronnie Harmon and Terrell Fletcher, the rookie from Wisconsin, in the backfield. Say in motion. 3rd and 6 for Humphreys. Scrambles and gets the first down. Not a good runner, not very fast. Saw the opening, 10-yard gain.
Well, everybody talks about Jim Harbaugh, the scrambler, but when 2 weeks ago, Stan Humphreys got a lot of pressure from the Indianapolis defensive line, and he did this. He broke out of the pocket, made some big plays throwing the football, and right here you see him making a good move and running for a big first down.
You know the reason for that? One of the problems is the Colts, when they get you in 3rd and long, they only send 3 people. They run off their linebackers, and you can run.
From the 48-yard line, it is Hayden straight ahead for about 4 to the 48 of Indianapolis. Bennett and Saragusa make the tackle. Aaron Hayden filling in for the injured Natron Means the last half of the season, and a very important ingredient in that 5-game winning streak that the Chargers bring in here is we asked him, were you named after Hammer and Hank, the baseball home run hitter, or someone from the Bible? He said, no, my mother loved Aaron spelling, but she called me Aaron. No one else has, but Aaron I prefer.
Well, that's what we're going to call him. It's Aaron. So don't send any letters into Dick's house.
Part of San Diego's mod squad. It's Hayden again. Big hole. And a first down at the 38. Gain of 10. Natron Means is expected to see some duty in this first quarter.
Well, what the San Diego Chargers do, watch, you're going to see Alfred Capuno come across here and then double down on Tony Saragusa, number 98, over the center. Watch this. They call this a wham block, and you need a wham to move Saragusa out of there. A good job of the Chargers attacking the middle of the Indianapolis defense. That's where they think they can run today.
Hayden, a 4th-round pick out of Tennessee, broke his leg seriously in the final game of the Volunteer season. Great play action by Humphreys. Down the middle, complete. No, a drop by Martin, and he was stripped by Jeff Harrod. Jim Gray with a report on Marshall Faulk.
Well, Dick, he twisted his knee on the turf, and then he fell on it. He came out immediately. It has started to swell up. They're going to ice it for a while. Right now, his return is questionable. They're going to look at it and just continue to monitor it. Dick?
All right, thanks, Jim. That means we'll see a lot of Lamont Warren, who filled in so capably in the win against New England a week ago.
And that's who's sitting right next to him, and he's getting some help.
2nd down and 10 for the Chargers. Hayden drawing a crowd of Colts after a gain of 2. Bennett and Poryat leading the charge along with Bernard Whittington.
No, this Colt defensive line, other than Saragusa, they're not a very big team. They're very quick and physical, and they love to get after the quarterback. And this is the one thing that Stan Humphries told us on Friday. We do not want to be in 3rd and long against this football team because they only send 3, and they cover so well in the secondary.
Defensive coordinator Vince Tobin has really improved this Colts defense in 2 years. No one in the backfield behind Humphreys. 3rd and 8. The quick throw incomplete. David Tate right there to deny Ronnie Harmon.
On this blitz, Quentin Corey out number 55 is the guy that breaks out on the top side, Phil.
Well, what they do, again, Paul, you're right, 3 down people and look inside. The Chargers get confused. Which guy's coming? And right there, Quentin Corey comes in free. Look at him right here, coming straight through. The guards blocked down. Nobody there to protect Stan Humphries.
John Carney is sent out. This would be a 54-yard field goal. That's the longest he's ever kicked, and the longest this season, only 45. So it's stretching his talent to hit this one. Plenty of foot. It is good. Oh, my. From 54, Carney gives the Chargers the early lead. You're watching the NFL on NBC.
NFL on NBC is brought to you by Jeep, maker of the new Jeep Grand Cherokee. By Epson. For brilliant photo quality color printing, you've got to see it in Epson color. And by Budweiser, official sponsor of the 1996 Olympic Summer Games. This Bud's for you.
John Carney, who broke Rolf Bernurska's San Diego record field goals career. He now has 151 and none longer than the one you just saw. 54 yards. Kicks it off to Lamont Warren and Aaron Bailey. It's Warren, former Colorado star, from the 1 to the 22, and a flag goes with it. Tackled by Rodney Harrison. Now Harbaugh is going to start from deep in his own end, and that gives us a chance to remind you. Mork and Mindy, remember my favorite Martian, Alf? Well, now there's NBC's Third Rock from the Sun. New comedy series about a family of aliens trying to fit in as humans. From the producers of Roseanne and the writers of Wayne's World comes Third Rock from the Sun, NBC, Tuesday night, January 9.
I can equate with that. The Third Rock from the Sun. Yeah, I came from a rock.
Getting solid reviews, and looks as though it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. From the 12-yard line after the penalty, Harbaugh sets him up. Marshall Faulk not in the game. Quickie complete to Turner, and Turner twists to a first down at the 24. Brought down by Dwayne Harper.
You know what's amazing about this play? Junior Seau is in a three-point stance. Then Junior Seau, you're going to see him. He's right here. Then he gets out of the stance, and he goes back. Watch who makes the tackle. Here comes number 55, Junior Seau. He was down, he gets up, he's watching, he sees the pass, forget the tight end, let's go to the wide receiver, and let me help out on the tackle.
Number 55, he took that number as a sophomore at Southern California in honor of his dad's 51st birthday. A high school custodian in Oceanside, California, his father. Harbaugh batted back in his face. I don't know who got it, but 55 was close. Might have been Reuben Davis.
Good job of the San Diego defensive line. Read the quarterback, a three-step drop. Something you've got to be taught and be alert for. Raise your hands when he takes that short drop. You're not going to sack him. Try to knock the ball down.
So wait a minute. He took that jersey because his father was 55?
Right.
I thought it was, when I was playing with the Bills, I was 55. I thought he was watching me and wanted to be after me. No?
That's another whole story.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Harbaugh 2 for 4. 2nd and 10. Play action. Has to unload. Incomplete. Zach Crockett was the closest receiver, but almost to Seau.
If he has time, Ken Dilger, he's got him open out on the flat. Now, whether he's going to get the first down or not, but out in the flat on the right-hand side is number 85. Now, the heat is on, and he has to dump the ball. But over on the right, you don't see him in the picture, there was nobody with Dilger.
Junior Seau could taste that one. There's the rookie from Illinois who's caught 42 passes in his first NFL season. 3rd and 10. There's the scrambling Harbaugh that's so dangerous. Throws complete to Turner and a first down Indianapolis at the 36-yard line. And that is what Ted Marchibrodo is saying. Let it rip. Be yourself. Don't try to be someone else. Do it the Harbaugh way.
Phil, I mean, how does he know where he is? I mean, he's looked like he's going to run and then he stops.
Well, because when he runs out here to the right, he knows he can't pick up 10 yards running. He sees the chain marker to his right, does a good job of staying behind it, and picks up the first down.
That's heads up.
In his 9th year, he's had 2 tenures at the Colts in Baltimore, now Indianapolis as their head man. Ted Marchibrodo watches. Harbaugh hands off to his fullback Crockett, and he's tripped up in the backfield by Reuben Davis.
They're not booing, folks. They're just saying Reuben.
Davis, a 320-pounder, and one of those rejects from Arizona that are spotted around the league that people enjoy.
I don't know if he was a reject because Buddy Ryan went there and he left to come here to San Diego, and Buddy Ryan going, geez, I don't know why he left. I like that guy. I want him to play for me. Reuben Davis, a good inside player.
Buddy only knew him by his number, though.
Yeah.
2nd and a dozen. Lobs it down the middle. Dilger stripped away. Good defensive play by Sean Gale, the former Chicago Bear.
I'm going to tell you what. First of all, you don't throw this pass. That's number 1. He almost makes the catch, Ken Dilger. But when you take a look at 85 downfield, watch the blue shirts. There's 4 of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Harper coming in on the left. You don't throw into that crowd. Somebody else has to be one-on-one.
Well, Sean Gale just back there reading the quarterback's eyes. He sees him lock in on the tight end. He moves up, and Jim Harbaugh fortunate was not intercepted.
Indianapolis had great balance run pass all year. They've started today 2 runs, 8 passes, 3rd down and 12 for Harbaugh. Lots of time. And has to throw it into the flat to Humphrey. Ronald Humphrey, short game. And San Diego forces the Colts to punt again. Seau all over the field again.
Well, we're already seeing when the Indianapolis Colts get in passing situations, their offensive line has trouble blocking the San Diego defensive line. They did the last time they played 2 weeks ago. Today, the same thing's happening. Passing situations, they cannot protect Jim Harbaugh.
2-yard loss on the completed pass. So on 4th and 14, Coleman returned 1 punt for a touchdown and 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns this year. Gardocki sails a nice spiral. Coleman, whose Kansas State team played on this field in the Holiday Bowl. An impressive win. Lets it roll, and a flag down as the Colts down at the 6-yard line. Damon Watts first on the coverage. 61 yards for Gardocki. His longest of the season was 69.
Is this a question of Watts going out of bounds and then coming back in? Because you cannot run. You have to try to get back in bounds, even if they're knocking you out of bounds. But he went out of bounds, and he cannot be the first guy to touch that ball.
Gary Lane, the referee, signals it is against Indianapolis.
Illegal touching of a kick by the kicking team, number 36. 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
I'll tell you, when they say this to the fans, I mean, if this was in Indianapolis, no one would understand what they're talking about. But what happens is you see it right here. Phil circling this.
Right there,
Here's Watts. He goes out of bounds. Now, he cannot be the first guy to touch this ball. He's got to let the ball go. If somebody else touches it, then he can stop it.
So they'll have to re-kick, and that's a tough break for the Colts. Negates a 61-yard punt by Gardocki.
Can you imagine, Dick, somebody watching this for the first time? Seeing go down and stop going, illegal touching. What is this? What are you, crazy?
Well, everybody's complaining the game's getting a little soft.
Andre Coleman stands at the 30-yard line. And the Colts shy a player. They get young Trevor Wilmot, a rookie, on the field. So in a bit of disarray, Indianapolis. Coleman moves up to the 30-yard line. This one is a shorter kick by a bunch and goes out of bounds at the 41 of San Diego. Wow. That's a 35-yard difference from the first punt.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Lexus Luxury Automobiles, the result of a relentless pursuit of perfection.
Welcome back. Just under 6 minutes left in the first quarter. 3-0 San Diego. You look at the Charger cannon. It used to be commonplace in football. Home teams would have the cannon celebrate on touchdowns. They've disappeared. It's kind of a dinosaur. San Diego's kept theirs.
When they fired that thing the first time, Phil Simms saw it, he almost jumped out of his booth.
Chargers start at the 40. Actually, it was a 33-yard difference, and it's deflected, intercepted. Picked off by Stephen Grant of Indianapolis. And the Colts with a big turnover at the San Diego 32-yard line. Ashley Ambrose broke up the pass, and it was intercepted by Grant, who had one during the year.
Well, the Chargers had great success 2 weeks ago throwing these short passes. Indianapolis said today we're going to be aggressive, come up there and take away those short passes right there. Ashley Ambrose comes up, breaks it up. Good job of seeing it, reading the drop, and Stephen Grant comes up and gets the interception.
Now you understand, Dick, why when you go to practice, you see these guys with a little tip drill hitting the ball up in the air. That's what it's for.
Former Mountaineer Grant positions the Colts at the San Diego 33. Lamont Warren is the tailback in motion. Give it to the fullback, Crockett, and he blasts to the 25. Zach Crockett, who had carried the ball only once all season, no yards on the play.
You know what it looks like to me when you see Crockett here? It's just like these two teams, both of them are just going to line up when they run the ball. They're going to come straight at you. They don't do anything fancy, either team. With Means on one side and Hayden, and then you got Crockett. They're going to come after you up the middle.
Crockett, who followed William Floyd at Florida State. Marshall Faulk with a helmet off. Not a good sign for Colts fans. 2nd and 2. Lamont Warren to the 23 and a first down. Sean Gale, the tackler.
You know, Dick, it was refreshing talking with Lamont Warren. We bring him in there. He has a good game. He comes in. And I said, are you going to start? No, that's Marshall's job. I know what my role is and what I'm going to do. He really is a nice young man, and he knows that this is the guy that's a runner, Marshall Faulk. And Lamont, he's just sitting there saying, you know, whatever it takes to win, I'll be able to do that.
Well, he gave more than that last week. 90 yards rushing and 6 catches, 67 more yards in the critical win against New England. On first down, Harbaugh has to unload. A dangerous pass for Crockett, broken up by Lewis Bush, the linebacker. Leslie O'Neal applied the pressure on Harbaugh, made him hurry the throw.
This is what makes Leslie O'Neal so good, Phil.
Well,
he doesn't get faked out.
That's right. Good job by Leslie O'Neal of containing backside when the play looked like it was going away from him. Stayed backside, made Jim Harbaugh pull up, and almost gave the Chargers a chance for the interception.
It's got to be a sick feeling as a quarterback when you roll. You know you don't have any blockers, and there's a defensive end that's as fast as you are.
Well, he can run. You know, for me, it was a sick feeling because I couldn't outrun him.
2nd and 10 for Harbaugh. Harbaugh under pressure again, wide open in the end zone, but picked off by Sayal. Ken Dilger, no, it's Brad Banta, the intended receiver, and Sayal from his middle linebacker position outran the ball.
Well, I said at the opening of this show that there are very few dominant players on defense in the history of professional football. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are now seeing one of the great linebackers of modern time, Junior Seau. Look at that hustle and catch. That's unbelievable.
It's hard to control a football game unless you have it in your hands. He is one of the few players in this league that can do it on defense that way.
The Chargers have it at their 1-yard line. Call him the Chief. Junior Seau, and is he in charge of that defense? What an interception, and Humphrey starts from the 1-yard line. Natron Means is the ball carrier. He carried only 3 times in the last 7 games. A groin injury that just would not heal, but ran like a colt, no pun intended, during the practices this week.
You know, you're almost at a catch-22 with the defensive coordinator. You know, you love to have him down on the 1-yard line, but if this team, the Chargers, takes this ball and they march 99 yards against you, it could break the back of your whole football team.
2 yards on first down against Vince Tobin's defense. Natron trying to get outside and buys himself some yardage, about 4 on the play before Ambrose and Grant can make the tackle.
Why don't more teams down here, Phil, throw the ball?
Because they're scared. They don't want something bad to happen. That's why. And the Chargers, you know, they're fortunate. They're a team that can run the ball straight ahead, which we've seen the first 2 downs. Now they have a 3rd and 3, which is not a bad situation to be in when you're coming out from your 1-yard line.
Now you throw?
Well, Ralph Friedgen's been known to throw from deep in his own territory, and he goes on top. Goes Humphreys to John Jefferson, incomplete. Covered by Ray Buchanan. Flag down at the line of scrimmage.
Well, that's holding. When a flag is back in the backfield, it's 99% of the time it's holding.
Was Stan Humphreys in the end zone when the holding took place?
Well, no, he wasn't. He was back about the 2-yard line. But if it was hit, you got a good point. If they were in the end zone and holding, that's a safety.
Illegal chop block. Number 68 on the offense. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Joe Cacuso. Humphreys off to a 0 for 5 start passing. And Darren Bennett, the Australian rules football player who knocked on Bobby Beathard's door a year ago and said, I'd like to punt in the NFL, and now has punted his way to the Pro Bowl with a 44.7 average. Look at this one. He launches one all the way back to the 28-yard line from his own end zone. Ray Buchanan with a solid return, still on his feet. And Harrison finally gets him out of bounds at the Charger 26-yard line. Well, he kicked at 64, but Buchanan answered 46 on the return.
Dick, this is not a stupid statement. I'm telling you, here's a guy that out-kicked his coverage. Now, he kicked this ball 64 yards in the air. Now, look at Buchanan. He has the whole field to pick wherever he wants to go because there's just no way the coverage can get there. You're only allowed the 2 outside guys on either side that can go down before the ball is kicked. Now, look at the room he has. He looks at a hole. He sets up his blocks. And Buchanan brings the ball to the 31-yard line, or 26-yard line, excuse me.
You won't see many balls kicked any higher or farther. That was 75 yards in the air. Perfect spiral. I love it. Colts right back deep in San Diego territory. A draw out of Crockett. That's a play that worked well in their game 2 weeks ago for Indianapolis. And Crockett to the 19, a gain of 8.
a well-designed play by Lindy and Fonnie right there. What you're going to see, what's to tackle Matthews outside, just lets this guy, Chris Mims, go up the field. Now he can lead inside, pick up the linebacker. That's why that play is successful.
Well, you know, that is a deep draw.
It is.
I mean, that, you know, most draws are about 3 to 5 yards. He runs back.
It's like the modern-day version of the Statue of Liberty, where it takes so long for the player to get to the line of scrimmage.
3-0 San Diego. 2 minutes left in the opening quarter. On 2nd and 2, big hole, and he's all the way to the 11-yard line. First down, Indianapolis. Let's go down to Jim Gray.
All right, Dick. Well, Marshall Faulk has taken the ice off his knee. He's testing it now, and he's speaking to a bunch of his teammates. He's going to try and come back if he can get it to go here on the sidelines as he continues to stretch and work out. Dick?
You know the nice part, though, Dick? He doesn't have to come in. They're doing very well. And as long as they are, don't worry about getting him back.
8th best in the league. The Colts once inside the 20. Producing 28 touchdowns and 53 chances. To the 6, a gain of 5 before Dwayne Gordon, who is starting ahead of Dennis Gibson today, makes the stop.
Well, this says something about the Colts right here. Not only are they missing Marshall Faulk, but Roosevelt Potts was hurt a couple weeks ago, out with injury. They bring in two other running backs, Zach Crockett and Lamont Warren, and the running game still keeps up.
That also tells you how good that offensive line is.
So since the punt return, Crockett 3 carries, 8 yards, and 5. Lamont Warren, and he is stuffed. Nothing there at all.
That's just a case of too many Chargers being at the line of scrimmage, and no matter what the Colts, if any running play right there was not going to work, they had all 9 people right up inside.
Those big tackles, Sean Lee and Reuben Davis, each well over 300 pounds.
They're not moving. They are not moving.
Time for one more play in this quarter. 25 seconds showing on the clock. We'll see if the Colts, apparently Harbaugh will try to get one more in. On 3rd down and 7, call it. It's a short 7. Quarterback draw. Harbaugh dives to the 2. He'll be short, it appears. A flag is down. Final play of this quarter. Dwayne Harper also down after making the tackle.
Now, to get to the 1-yard line, they could get a first down if he gets there, but
penalties against San Diego, personal foul, so the Colts will get the first down at the 1-yard line.
And also they got Harper, Dwayne Harper, 28, that gets hurt on this play. But I'm going to tell you, what a great play by Harbaugh, and it looks like it was designed all the way.
Oh yes, it was a quarterback draw all the way. Really caught the
84.
Chris Mims, 94, with a late hit, personal foul.
From your left, you see him coming in way late and actually falling on Jim Harbaugh's head.
So when we come back, we'll start the 2nd quarter. The Colts on the 1-yard line. 3-0 San Diego.
Playoff action heats up on NBC. Next Saturday at 12 noon Eastern, Neil O'Donnell and the Steelers host Jim Kelly and those resilient Bills. Next Sunday at 3:30 Eastern, the AFC's top team, the Chiefs, face the winner of today's game. 2 great matchups on the way to Super Bowl 30 next weekend on NBC.
On our way to the Super Bowl in Tempe, a month away. First round of the playoffs. San Diego leads 3-0 after a quarter, but Indianapolis 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. They were looking at the knee of Dwayne Harper. 4 shots for the Colts to capture the lead. Lamont Warren. And it's recovered by Harbaugh. No, it's not Harbaugh, but the wide receiver in motion might have been Floyd Turner. What a hit. Dwayne Gordon flying over the line to meet Warren head on.
Well, you know, in a play like this, it has to be perfect timing in order to beat the back. Watch 52 when he goes up in the air. Bam, right in there, head to head. Now, I don't understand why that's not sparing. because he hit him helmet to helmet. Watch 52's helmet right here. That's helmet to helmet. Now, if you hit a quarterback like that, they throw a flag. Why don't they do it when the back is going in there?
Ken Dilger, the young tight end, fortunately for Indianapolis, there to cover it. And Harbaugh calls time. Now 2nd and goal from just inside the 3-yard line. 14-18 remaining in the opening half.
Pizza by halftime, because when it's gotta be deep, it's gotta be Domino.
Looking back at 1st and goal, Dwayne Gordon not only saving a touchdown, almost created the turnover.
When you're a linebacker and you're off the line of scrimmage and goal line defense, your job is to see where the ball is going and try to react and get over that pile to stop runners in those situations.
2nd and goal from the 3. Harbaugh. Batted in the air. Incomplete.
Oh, he had
Sayal again. Bats it free.
He had Dilger wide open in the end zone, and he threw it late, and Sayal read it. He's reading his eyes. Watch Sayal's eyes. Read the quarterback's eyes. Here's Sayal gets back up. Look at this. Is he any good? Knocked down, back up.
You know, he's so mobile and athletic, you forget he is 250 pounds.
No, he doesn't. And the offensive players didn't forget it. They know it. I can tell you that.
Jim Harbaugh, his first receiver right there, wide open, way late with the football. Should have been an easy touchdown.
3rd and goal. They spread it out, and Harbaugh has to spend a 2nd timeout as the play clock had run down to 1 second. So it'll be a crucial 3rd and goal for the Colts when we return.
Equally easy to drink. You are your own dog.
Welcome back to the Murph. Ray Buchanan's 46-yard punt return to the San Diego 27. Now 8 plays later, 3rd and goal just inside the 3. Harbaugh. All day to find a receiver. No one open. Now throws. Touchdown, Dilger. Ken Dilger, the rookie from Illinois.
I'll tell you what, right now, I blame this on the defensive line. They did not put any pressure on Harbaugh. They let him run around all he wanted. And Dilger, for a rookie, you talk about getting yourself open. That was amazing.
And I give Indianapolis credit, Paul. One of the reasons why he had all the time, they came in, they stayed in that goal line offense, packed down that defensive line of San Diego. They were not able to get up the field, and that's why Jim Harbaugh could buy so much time and let Ken Dilger get open in the back of the end zone.
What a find this year, the rookie 2nd-round pick Dilger from Illinois. Kerry Blanchard adds the extra point, and it's 7-3. Let's see how Dilger stayed open or got open for Harbaugh.
Well, Dilger, you see him here at the line of scrimmage, and what's going to happen? He's going to go back here, and he's covered at first, and then as Harbaugh buys time, watch him right here. You see him? The linebacker's right in front of him. As Harbaugh buys time and goes to his right, he does a good job of working with his quarterback and finds the open spot.
All right, here's what I was talking about. Now, look at along the line of scrimmage. You see they have him right at the line of scrimmage. Now, Harbaugh has all the time that he wants to throw the ball. And it looks like he's going to throw the ball away, but he sees Dilger in the back of that end zone. I cannot believe, again, that the safeties don't get back in the corner of that end zone and then work their way back out. Sayal goes down. He's out of the play.
But, you know, going back to this play, though, Paul, the one thing I liked about it is staying in that tight formation and really making it tough on the San Diego defense.
And Harbaugh at his best, being himself, the scrambling quarterback. He used to be around the league known as just a runner that could throw sometimes, and as you put it to Phil Simms, told don't lose the game with your pass. And now Marta Broda said you're best when you're on the move. I mean, he throws his best passes like that one, off the back foot, on the run.
Well, you know, Marta Broda said yesterday when you asked him about it, have you ever seen any kind of story like this happen with Harbaugh? He said, are you kidding? Not in the history of the game.
Yesterday he says him and Jim Harbaugh looked at each other and just started laughing. They go, can you believe this is happening? And it's really a great story for the coach and for the quarterback to have this relationship and it worked out this way.
Andre Coleman has returned 5 kickoffs for touchdowns in 2 years. Outside and he can run, but Bailey stays right with him. Aaron Bailey, and pushes him out shy of the 35.
It wasn't a push out. Coleman, when he pushes him out, he hits one of the big linemen from the Colts, and it was like he got shot back out on the field. It looked like he's made out of rubber. Watch at the end of this play when you see Coleman. Now Bailey shoves him out. Watch when he hit a lineman right here.
It's Tony McCoy, yeah.
Oh man, that's beautiful. Look at his eyes. He's saying, "I can't get around you."
Oh, looking for a safe spot. Nope, that's not very safe there. Oh, and Saragusa's next to him.
26 yards on the return. Humphreys and the Chargers start at the 32-yard line. And it's Aaron Hayden. Caught from behind at the 34. Bernard Whittington chasing the play.
Right there was just a good example of Ray Buchanan, the left cornerback for the Indianapolis Colts. Paul, we know he's an excellent cover guy down the field. We saw it earlier. He can run with any wide receiver, but tough, an ex-safety, and he plays to run tough. When you run outside, right there, he made a good tackle.
I just love it when you have a small guy like that. He's only 189 pounds. He says, "I want to hit some people.
Yeah,
I want to hit you."
2nd and 7. Humphreys yet to complete a pass. 5 attempts. Plenty of time, and another one hits the ground for San Diego. Buchanan on the coverage. Humphreys is 0 for 6.
Well, one of the reasons why he's 0 for 6 right now, Indianapolis learned something the last time they played. Here you see Ray Buchanan against Tony Martin. They said, we're going to play tight man-to-man coverage against the Charger receivers. They do not like to get hit, and it's different from what they did 2 games ago. They played soft zone, and Stan Humphreys ate them up underneath. Today, that is not going to happen.
3rd and long with Martin to the right. Say in the slot left. Jefferson far left. Ronnie Harmon in the backfield. Humphreys to Harmon. And is going to be close to a first down at the 42. Quentin Coriat made the tackle, and our expert on these first down measurements
Here we go.
is waiting with bated breath.
Well, I'll tell you what.
He's hesitating.
No, I'm not hesitating. I've got to figure he's going to be just outside the 42-yard line. If the nose of that ball is just outside, which it looks like it is, it'll be a first down by the nose of the ball. It's first down.
Well, let's move the game along then. What do we wait?
I don't understand why they're doing this. If those yard markers are correct, it's a first down.
You know where me and Dick are sitting up here really rooting against you.
I know you are, but that's okay. I'm not perfect. I just have never made a mistake.
Well, here's the moment of truth again for Monsieur McGuire. Half the ball.
Wasn't even close. But I'll tell you what, Quentin Coriat made a great play. It's one of the toughest plays for a linebacker to make. Here you are out in space. They run a screen, and he has to fight through the lineman to get to the runner, and he does make the play.
We saw a little ploy the Chargers might use in some 3rd down long situations. 3 rushers. Hard to get the ball down the field, so throw a screen and let some lead blockers get down there and block the extra DBs.
This thing took a long time to develop, too, Phil.
Yeah. Humphreys' first completed pass, the short one to Harmon. Jefferson left, Martin right, and it's Aaron Hayden out to the 47-yard line, a gain of almost 5. Tony Siragusa down low to trip him up.
On the stop, number 98, Tony
Bobby Ross, many regard him as one of the solid coaches in the league. We've told the story so many times. When a man says that his favorite after-game treat is a bowl of cream of wheat, that tells you a lot about a man's life. He is football and more football. And talking with Alex Spanos last night, he said he's so delighted that he picked the right man 4 years ago and brought Bobby Ross here to San Diego. Football, it truly is his love. To the 48, it'll be close to a first down. Boss Ross, San Diego, and when the season wears on, he starts marching.
Number 54, Jeff Harrod.
Graduate of VMI, Army First Lieutenant. He'll light that Charger cannon. And after Thanksgiving, I don't know if it's the turkey or what, but no one's been better in the NFL in his 4 years. Maybe they ought to start feeding the Chargers turkey in September. Maybe that would be
Well, I think we saw one of the reasons why it looks like they picked up the first down right there. one of the reasons why this team is successful late in the season, Dick, we went to practice on Friday, and we all looked at each other, and we were just impressed the way they handled themselves, how crisp it was, the speed of the practice, and you know, he does not let up on his team as the year wears along. That's why they're still good at the end.
Well, we were told that they were going to go from 12:30 to 2:15. Well, they got off the field at 10 minutes to 2 because they were so brisk and so sharp with everything they did. He rewards them by getting them off the field.
Humphreys sneaked for the first down at the 47 of Indianapolis. Off play action, steps up and guns down the middle. Incomplete. Martin seemed to be open, but there was Ray Buchanan as he had a first half for Indianapolis.
Well, he told us yesterday he was going to do this.
Yeah, he did. And here's the change-up we're getting today, Paul. As you're going to see two safeties in the back, and watch underneath the receivers and the defensive backs. They're going to run with them all over the field with safety help. This is why they can gamble, Ray Buchanan. Look at him cut underneath, because they know if they get a double move, the safety can help them out.
Well, you can see right there in Humphreys, he sees Martin open. He throws it a little bit behind, and it gives Buchanan enough time to get there and knock the ball away.
Second down and 10. The quick pass almost intercepted by Ashley Ambrose.
Oh, you want to see, here's exactly what Phil Simms has been talking about. You're talking about defensive guys gambling and pressure. Watch Ambrose, 33. Bam! He sees it now. He's in the face. He almost makes the interception.
Just an excellent adjustment by the coaches for the Indianapolis Colts, the way they've changed from 2 weeks ago to this week.
Ambrose, who went to Jerry Rice University, Mississippi Valley State. Vince Tobin, the coordinator, with an excellent defensive scheme today. 3rd and 10. Humphreys 1 for 9 passing. Will try again. Finds Harmon. And Harmon, a great 3rd down back, skips out of bounds with a first down, it would appear.
Well, you got David Tate as the safety on Harmon, and you know, this is amazing to me how they do this over and over and over again, because on 3rd and long, it's Harmon. There's no secret.
Excellent job by the San Diego coaches. They know their best matchup now is probably Ronnie Harmon in these man situations against David Tate. Now he has the whole field to work with. Good job by Stan Humphreys finding the open man.
Trailing 7-3, first down San Diego, just inside the Colt 37. Humphreys has caught more passes than any running back in the league the last 4 years. This is Hayden. Not much there to the 34. Entire right side of the Colts line, making it tough. Siragusa in on the play, along with Trev Alberts.
Well, there's a couple of things that I'm noticing here about the Colts. One thing that they're not going to let the Chargers do is beat them with the run. That we could see for sure. They're shutting it down. The only thing that I question about this team here is because how big this offensive line is for the Chargers. On 3rd down and long, even 3rd and 5 or so, they come with 3 guys. They've got to put some more pressure on Humphreys, or he's going to be able to stand back there and beat you to death.
2nd down and 7. Trying to get outside. And a rookie from Tennessee close to a first down. Arad and McCoy make the tackle.
Well, this is what Aaron Hayden brings to the game. The ability to cut back, and even some of the defensive linemen for the Indianapolis Colts that, you know, Natron Means gets in there. He runs more straight ahead. This guy, you think you've got him inside, and he'll break out there and still pick up good yardage when you think you have a good defense.
Well, you saw Quentin Coriat. I mean, he was out there to make the play, but Hayden cuts back inside, and he overruns the play. You've got to be in a football position. Coriat was there to make the play, didn't. Tony Bennett gets a hand on Hayden, and Coriat's the guy that's got to finish it off, and he didn't do it.
Will be short of a first down by that much. 3rd down San Diego at the Colts 27. Hayden grew up in Detroit. He comes out, and Natron Means apparently will go in. And here comes some extra blockers as well as they take out the 2 wide receivers, bring in Shannon Mitchell.
Well, there's no secret. Humphreys behind that big offensive line. He just taps him and goes. You know, you don't waste a handoff somewhere else and have a bad exchange somewhere. You do what they just did a little while ago on this half a yard. Give it to the quarterback. Did you ever get stopped?
Many times.
You know, he's so honest and scary.
I hated the quarterback sneak.
Did you really?
Oh, I hated it. I wasn't paid to run it.
Well, attack formation. Going Park on the left side, an eligible receiver. Play action, and it would have worked for a big gain to Papunu, but a flag down.
Well, there were whistles blowing all over. This play stopped before it got started. And it's against the Chargers. So now the
prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 77, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Eric Moten, guilty of a little move.
Eric Moten, you can just see him right over there. You'll see him flinch just before the snap count. Watch him right there.
And that play was set up magnificently for the Chargers. That had touchdown written on it.
Dick, you got a little laser show going here on your spotting boards, huh? Spotting got a little laser light.
So it's almost the start of a new year. I'm going to be high-tech in 1996.
There you go.
That's my resolution.
Yeah, Paul's going to try to get to the 70s. He's been living in the 60s.
Oh, those 60s are wonderful, though.
Yeah. No first down, so it's 3rd and 5.5 now for Humphries and the Chargers. 3-man rush for Indianapolis. Flat to Harmon, first down. At the 23, that's 3 first down catches for Ronnie Harmon.
You know, I said this before, 3rd and 5, it was 3rd and 6. And you put this much pressure on your defensive backs, it's hard to do this. Stan Humphries just stays back there all by himself, no pressure at all, because you only have a 3-man rush.
Colts, though, that old bend but don't break. Chargers having to work hard as they move downfield, and a first down at the 23. 8.5 minutes remaining in this opening half. Colts 7, Chargers 3.
Checking off right here.
Pump fake and a long throw for Jefferson. Too long. Covered by Ashley Ambrose.
I'm sorry, Dick, but Stan Humphries finally saw he had single coverage on the outside, nobody behind the corners, and so they have he audibles to a slant and go right there, but a good job by Ashley Ambrose.
Well, on the top side, look at Tony Martin, number 81. Is he open? Yeah, but this ball is thrown, though. And Buchanan already saw the ball being thrown, so he got to let him know. No, excuse me. You would not have been open.
Tony Martin has not caught a pass today. He was the AFC Player of the Month of December with 30 catches, and here on the 31st of December looking for that number 31. 14th play of the drive, and it's Natron inside the 20 to the 19. Quentin Coriat and others with the tackle.
Well, you know, Humphries told us Friday, we don't want to be in 3rd and long. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because every 3rd and long he's had a lot of success with it because they're only sending 3 guys on the defensive line. And I'm telling you, it puts a lot of pressure on those guys because he has time for the receivers to get open. You can only cover a guy for such a short period of time.
Harmon is in there, 3rd and 6. And they might be bringing more this time. Better. And Humphries just does get it away. Caught by Martin at the 9. How did he get it through that defense?
Well, that just shows you the strength of Stan Humphries' arms. On the move, watching right here, you can see the coach fake the blitz and gets pressure. Quentin Coriat steps up all the way across the field, wrong foot, and what a catch by Tony Martin.
Coriat, now look at, they bring some guys up, and then they're rushing 5 now. And look at the pressure. Coriat almost gets there. He should have gotten some help on the inside by Tony McCoy, but he didn't. But take a look at this. Ambrose, what I think he's doing is he's reaching too soon. When you're running at the ball, run your body to the ball.
First and goal from the 9. That means nothing. Arad spearheaded the defensive charge. He's led the Colts in tackles 6 of the last 7 years.
You know, only 7 guys hit Natron that time. If you go and look at that thing, 7 people were there when Natron ended up on the ground.
He comes out.
Why draw a crowd?
Aaron Hayden replaces him on 2nd and goal at the 9. 17th play of the drive. Hayden to the 6. They try to cross up the Colts, who are looking pass, use the run, but Grant and McElroy not fooled.
Well, they were looking past maybe, but I tell you what, look inside, watch the strong safety. Jeff Herod does a good job of coming up right there and watch the safety. David Tate come flying up inside and make the tackle. These are some hard-hitting safeties Indianapolis Colts have. David Tate and Jason Belzer.
3rd and goal from the 6. Say and Harmon to the left. Martin and Jefferson right, and now the shift. Harmon into the backfield. Humphries wiggles free. Throws the touchdown. The man from Tonga, Alfred Papuno. Remember in the playoffs, he caught that big touchdown in Pittsburgh. We got the Chargers back in the game in the AFC Championship.
This is all Stan Humphries and nobody else because they had the rush on. He should have been sacked. He found out where he was. He thought about running. Then he decided, I see Papuno on the outside. I'm going to throw the ball.
Carney's try for point. And San Diego back in front 10-7. The 30-year-old quarterback Stan Humphries weathering the defensive pressure. He sees Papuno, and the fans in San Diego see their team in the lead. What a blue-collar drive for Stan Humphries and the Chargers, who go 68 yards. It took them 18 plays. Papuno, who did not score a touchdown all year, had 35 catches, gets one today. He coached his touchdowns like cutting off a coconut and drinking. Is that what he's doing? That's what he's doing. John Carney to kick it off. Warren and Bailey are deep. This time it comes to Aaron Bailey. Wide receiver from Louisville breaks a tackle and is out to the 34-yard line. Flags fly. Well, they sorted out. Let's go back to the touchdown effort by Humphries.
Well, everybody talks about Stan Humphries' toughness and the fact that he has a big arm, but watch him avoid Ellis Johnson, number 62. He avoids the sack, but his movement in the pocket is something he does very well. He finds Alfred Papuno, who was just blocking, and released down the field for the touchdown.
You had to identify with that drive. That was a New York Giant drive of your era.
Gosh, I don't think we made it look that hard, did we?
Every play was tough, wasn't it?
That was tough.
Seo met him at the goal line.
Well, San Diego 10, Indianapolis 7 with 5.5 minutes remaining in this first half. 6 for 6 on third downs. Humphrey, most of those to Harmon, including the touchdown. Holding against Indianapolis on the return. They start at the 20. Play action Harbaugh. Has a 5-yard gain. Seo with the tackle.
Phil, play action passes just freeze people. I mean, it is so evident when Harbaugh fakes the handoff and it sits back there and he has all the time in the world. Watch what happens here. Just look at the defensive line. These guys right here. Watch those guys. Watch what happens when he makes a fake. They're all at the line of scrimmage. You have all day to throw the ball. And he picks the guy with the crowd.
2nd and 5. Both Dawkins and Turner to the left. Underneath to Warren. And Willie Clark finally gets him out of bounds at the 42-yard line. 17 on the play.
What did he say to you yesterday, Warren? I know my role. My role is to catch the ball and run with it.
Well, right here, the Indianapolis Colts are fortunate. They catch the Chargers in the zone, and look at Lamont Warren right there going underneath the zone as it's cleared out on the other side for him. Jim Harbaugh does a good job of finding the open man.
He's a big Raiders fan growing up in Los Angeles, as you see the matchup of Wolford against Leslie O'Neal.
How about the holding of Wolford against Leslie O'Neal? Not holding unless you get caught.
Harbaugh to throw again. Underneath to Dilger, the tight end. And Dilger close to midfield before he's ridden down by Seo and Dwayne Harper, who's back in.
Dick, did Dilger say he's from a town of 85,000 or
No,
85?
500 down near Evansville in southern Indiana. Grew up on a farm. And the highlight of his high school life was as a quarterback. He wandered. They let him go down into Kentucky, where he went to that quarterback school in Morehead State. Phil Simms quarterback school.
That's right. Yeah, and I must have taught him well. They changed him to a tight end.
Yeah, $200 it cost him.
Charming young guy. 2nd and 3. to the 49. Mims down low, Sayal and Gordon to make the tackle.
But he really is a delightful kid. I mean, he said he's smiling and he's having a good time. He said he spent the summers just, piling hay?
So that was the tough job. He got, $5 an hour. That's pretty good pay.
He seemed pretty excited about the free meal that came with those $5 an hour. So.
Remind me of Sims. I'm going to tell you something. If it's free, Sims is taking it. You know what I'm saying?
Dilger, more of a basketball fan. He's Larry Bird, who grew up in French Lick, Indiana, was his idol as a kid. He's a pretty good basketball player, was Dilger. Has the touchdown for the Colts. It's 3rd and 2. Play action, Harbaugh rolling. That's where he's dangerous. Runner pass. Going to try to run it, and he has the first down. Only needed a couple, and he dives to the 47.
Well, it's a good job of the Indianapolis Colts defense of mixing it up. Every time you think they're going to run it, they're trying to pass, and we talked about it earlier. They just have a hard time controlling that defensive line. Look at it right there, the penetration the Chargers get. And Jim Harbaugh finds nobody open down the field, so he does what he does second best, and that's run the football.
Well, you don't see Junior Seau miss it. He's usually lined up and zeroes in on a quarterback. That time, Harbaugh goes right inside of him and picks up the first down.
Trailing 10-7, the Colts back in San Diego territory. Underneath. Oh, what a move by Moore. And he has another first down. At the 2-minute warning, Indianapolis on the march again. San Diego with a 3-point lead. 2 minutes left in the first half. 10-7 San Diego. Jim Harbaugh has a first down at the Charger 33. Long, has a man wide open. Oh my, Turner lets it go through his hands. Perfectly thrown. Chris Mims applied the hit on Harbaugh as he delivered.
Well, Jim Harbaugh needed just about a half a second more, and he could throw. Well, it was a perfect throw in, but look at Floyd Turner going down the field. The Chargers get confused in the coverage. Sean Gale not able to get over there. Floyd Turner drops a short touchdown.
He let that one rip.
Yeah. Look at Jim Harbaugh. He's on the ground, looks up on the big screen, and sees the incompletion.
Now that's modern technology. You don't look downfield, you look back at the big screen to see whether you scored a touchdown. On 2nd and 10, Crockett threw a huge hole. No one there. Zach Crockett for a touchdown. 33 yards. A man who had carried the ball once all year.
I'll tell you what, Sean Gale did not get any piece of this thing at all. And this offensive line, they have just been sensational in this first half of the game for Harbaugh. He's given him time. They opening up holes. There was a huge hole in this offensive line that opened up. And there was absolutely, Sean Gale was really the only guy that had a shot at him and never even touched him.
Paul, an excellent job by the coaches once again, mixing it up. A passing situation. San Diego defense playing pass. They stick a run up inside. The Chargers defense was not ready for it.
Crockett, 240-pounder, rookie from Florida State, was a 3rd-round pick. He's a block. William Floyd, who preceded him. The extra point by Blanchard is good.
Extra point try is good.
14-10 Indianapolis. The rookie Crockett, 33 yards for the go-ahead touchdown.
Well, how do you go for a touchdown untouched? Junior Seau out here playing pass. Watch the center Loudermilk block here. Randy Dixon kick out, and look at the hole the line creates for Zach Crockett right here, and he goes to the end zone untouched.
I'm telling you, it's amazing. Sean Gale, you've got to step up, and he does not step up on this play. And Zach Crockett, he just, watch this. Look at the size of this hole. That's incredible. That is a huge hole. Here comes Gale on the left-hand side. He can't even get close. Nobody touches him. Now, that's easy running.
The Indianapolis Colts offensive line coming back today and doing a good job because they struggled a couple weeks ago at their place playing this Charger defense.
8 plays to go, the 80 yards, and the kick by Gardocki down to the goal line. Andre Coleman looks for a crease, gets outside. 35, 40, flag is down as Coleman is knocked out of bounds at the 44. Aaron Bailey made the tackle.
It's coming back. There's a flag on the 19-yard line, and it is coming back.
So the Colts See the Chargers march back. That'll be about to the 10-yard line. And that'll change the whole play call thinking of Bobby Ross. With 1:38 remaining in the half, Chargers have all 3 of their timeouts.
There's a block in the back.
During the return, illegal block in the back on the return team, number 38. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
I mean, there's no reason to block a guy in the back, especially when you can see his name. If you can see his name, you should not hit him. And Hendricks in this play, and he just absolutely wipes the guy out. It's on this side over here, on the left-hand side. But watch what happens right here. There it is. Right in here is where the block is. Oh, that was nice. We both got a finger on that thing.
So Stan Humphries and the Chargers down 14-10. 1:38 left in the half. Ronnie Harmon in the backfield. To Harmon. Harmon running before he'd really caught the ball. A reminder that coming up at halftime, the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC halftime report. Greg Gumbel, Mike Ditka, Joe Gibbs, and Joe Montana in our New York studios. On hand, they'll have the highlights of the Falcons-Packers game and a live interview with the Chiefs' Neil Smith. I wonder if he's brought some of that sweet potato pie for the boys in New York. That's supposed to be only for us. We'll find out. That's coming up at halftime.
Is he going to be disappointed if someone else gets it?
Second down, and the throw to Harmon incomplete. Covered by David Tate.
Boy, you know, don't boo. Don't boo this team. You know, let me ask you a question, Phil. The Colts came down and made it look easy on that drive. Returned the touchdown. The Chargers took 18 plays and looked like they struggled all the way down. Does that tell you anything?
Tells me a lot. It tells me at halftime the Chargers are going to have to make some adjustments for what the Colt defense is doing to them.
1:30 and the 2 incomplete passes stop the clock for the Colts. Humphries to Harmon. And Harmon has the first down again and gets out of bounds at the 22. 11 yards on the play. Ashley Ambrose and David Tate make the tackle.
That was a big first down picked up by the San Diego Chargers, because if they don't get it there, the Indianapolis Colts are going to get this ball back in good position. But you see Ronnie Harmon releasing out of the backfield. Nobody there to cover him. Stan Humphries knows a good spot now. Look for Ronnie Harmon on these third down situations.
They have 3 timeouts, the Chargers, and I know I hate this. I hate prevent. I really do.
They go with 4 wides and Harmon. Say to the 30-yard line, a gain of 8. Ray Buchanan makes the tackle, and that's the first timeout used by the San Diego Chargers. 1:16 left in the half. Rhoda always quarterback himself at St. Bonaventure and drafted as a first-round pick by the Steelers back in the 50s, and good enough that they let another guy go named John Unitas, who found a home in Baltimore. And they were talking the Colts, and it's not well publicized, but the Chargers' speed at wide receiver, it is felt the AFC is second only to the Oakland Raiders. The guys outside can run, and it explains why they get some big plays. That's what Humphries was looking for, and has to run it. Gets a block. Crazy legs first to the 47. 17-yard gain and a timeout with 1:05 left.
I'm going to tell you something. Prevent defense is what I hate. I hate prevent defense because it prevents you from winning and also prevents you from stopping the offense. And here's Humphries.
Well, this time the Indianapolis Colts do change up a little, Paul. They become aggressive. Their man coverage down the field. That's why there's nobody there to pick up Stan Humphries when he breaks through the pocket.
What he was trying to do, though, he wanted to throw the ball outside to Ronnie Harmon, 33. Now watch Harmon when he comes out. He's going to get knocked down. He can't get the ball to him. That's the man he wants to throw the ball to. Right there, Harmon's down. So he decides right then that I'm going to run with the football.
Papuno threw the block on Coriat that gave him another 10 yards.
Stan Humphries showing us, you just never think of him as being a mobile quarterback, because he is a big quarterback, and some say maybe a few pounds overweight, but he does move around very well.
Are you saying he's slow?
No, he's not slow at all. I think we all just perceive him not to be a moving quarterback, but he does very well in the pocket.
Well, you saw he has 29 yards today. All season he ran for only 53. So that just is out of character for him to tuck it away. First down from the 47. One timeout left. Humphries drills it to Say, and that'll be a first down at the 42 of the Colts. Clock is running. Chargers have one timeout left. Jason Belzer put a good hit on Say, who comes out wincing. Trailing 14-10, it's Harmon. And that didn't fool the Colts at all, and that forces Humphries to spend his last time out. Wasn't happy about that play or the result a bit.
Boy, you know, when you look at his face, he didn't like the play, Phil. You could just tell he didn't like the play that was called.
Well, here's the completion right before that draw play right there outside to Mark Say. And you can see Jason Belzer was waiting outside for him. An excellent job by Stan Humphries, putting a little extra on it so Jason Belzer couldn't come in and make the play.
When you see Humphries and he looks like, I don't like the play that was called, and it was a draw that didn't work. It actually lost the half a yard.
Yeah.
Phil, what is the thinking on a play like that? You've got 50 seconds. You've only got one timeout. You're in the middle of the field on about the 42-yard line. Why do they make that call?
Well, you're looking for one play to get you in field goal territory. And Paul, I like the call. Try to guess against the defense. The defense is thinking pass. You're hoping they're dropping out of there. Get one of your running backs up inside quick and maybe get a 10-yard gain, knowing you have one timeout left.
Now they have none. And 41 seconds remaining. Second down and 11 at the Colts 43. Stop the clock.
Yeah, kill the clock. Don't try to run a play. He's going to run a play here, it looks like. No.
Oh, 23 seconds left in the half. So Terrell Fletcher, who has produced some big plays, and that one was worth 26 yards.
Excellent job. The Indianapolis Colts had 3 down linemen in, and one of the linebackers come. You see Trev Alberts inside, and look at that middle. Wide open. Terrell Fletcher beats David Tate inside.
Fletcher, you got to account for him, Dick. I'm telling you something. And when Fletcher comes out of the backfield, look how far off Tate is, and now he's trailing. He's from behind. Almost loses the ball.
Caught only 3 passes all year. Humphries into the end zone. Martin, incomplete. Ambrose might have gotten a piece of that. It's intercepted. And on the carom, it goes into the arms of Ray McElroy. What a turnabout for the Colts.
You know, the thing that makes this thing play work is that Ambrose gets his arm up. Once he gets his arm up, now Martin can't see the ball, and it hits him in the face. I think it hits him in the face. Now watch what Ambrose does here, Phil. He stays with it, and he's going to get his hand up where Martin can't see the ball. Bam, it hits him in the helmet, and look at that. As that heads-up football.
I think he got his fingertips on it, and that's what made the ball deflect just enough. Yes, you could see it right there. Hits Tony Martin in the face, and when he threw the ball, I thought it was an interception, but it almost got in there.
Boy, does that take the emotion out of this crowd just before halftime. Fans looking for a score that would give the Chargers the lead. Martin is open in the end zone off his face mask to Ray McElroy. McElroy's first ever interception. Well, unlike the 3 games that have preceded it, it looks as if we've got a battle in San Diego at the intermission. Indianapolis 14, San Diego 10. We now go to Greg Gumbel and our NFL on NBC studio crew in New York.
And as we take roll call here in the studio, Greg Gumbel along with Mike Ditka, Joe Gibbs, Joe Montana. Happy New Year to you and yours, everyone. The Colts lead the Chargers 14-10. Finally, a good game, at least so far on this wild card weekend. In the first 3 games, the average halftime score was 30-6. It is an improvement, a 4-point lead today as we hit the break. And one thing that we've seen today, Mike, so far, the Indianapolis Colts minus Roosevelt Potts, minus Marshall Faulk, still able to move the ball on the ground.
Yeah, and I think the main reason is their offensive line. You know, Marshall Faulk talked about it a little bit earlier. They have not played well all year, but today they're playing outstanding. Now, they gave up 1 sack. Well, watch the blocking on this play. I mean, they destroy people. He picks the hole, he makes a great decision, but they destroyed everybody at the line of scrimmage. They made the right angles, and they did it. And, you know, what they're doing right now without those 2 running backs is outstanding. I just want to make one comment to Phil. Listen, I don't know what coach you're talking about. We never told Harbaugh to go out there and not lose a football game. What we told Harbaugh, like I tell any other quarterback, You don't have to win every game. You got a lot of players around you, Phil.
Okay.
Quarterbacks better not miss.
Yep.
Dick, don't sass the coach.
They're a dime a dozen.
All right, the Chargers barely missed a touchdown at the end of that first half. Joe, do they have reason to worry?
Well, I tell you what, the Chargers in their last 4 games have been tied in one of those and behind in the others. Now, you got to think back to last year. This team has a history of being behind in the first half. They're a second-half team. I expect to see them come out to get the ball downfield. They're doing a good job, their backs, to get the ball downfield, a few more crossing routes. They're a second-half team. I don't think this team will panic at all.
All right, Mr. Montana, where are the Chargers getting hurt today?
Well, I think in 2 areas. Number one, the people who usually step up for them is their defensive front 7. Leslie O'Neal, Mims, Sayal, they've got to come through. They've got to start getting some pressure on Harbaugh and start stopping the run. The other place, Tony Martin. This game, 1 catch for 10 yards. Last game, 10 catches for 168 yards and 2 TDs. He's got to get back in the ballgame.
All right, Joe. Earlier today at Green Bay, the Packers beat the Atlanta Falcons 37-20 to advance to next weekend's divisional playoffs, where they will meet San Francisco. Packers trailed 7-0 early on. Brett Favre to Edgar Bennett, fights his way 8 yards for a touchdown to tie the game at 7. Bennett, 24 carries, a team playoff record, 108 yards rushing and to the seats. 14-10 Green Bay in the second when the Pack pulled away. Antonio Freeman on the punt return to the left sideline. Just one man to beat. Punter Dan Straczynski, no problem. 76 yards and a touchdown. The Pack was up 20-10. Then, just before halftime, Favre. First we'll pay a visit to the expensive seats. Favre to tight end Mark Chmura for the 2-yard touchdown. 27-10 at halftime. Both teams traded touchdowns in the second half. Mike Holmgren took a bath. The final score, 37-20. And one other note, the Green Bay Packers, although they move on, they lose guard Aaron Taylor with a torn tendon in his left knee. He will be lost for the remainder of the postseason. Here is the lineup for the NFC playoffs. Late Saturday, Mike Holmgren returns to San Francisco. The Packers against the Niners. Early Sunday, Philadelphia against Dallas in Texas Stadium. Up next, we will talk live with Kansas City's Neil Smith. His team plays either the Chargers or the Colts. We'll talk to Neil right after these words from your local station.
Must-see TV. This is the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC Halftime Report. Brought to you by Domino's Pizza. When it's gotta be great and it's gotta be now, it's gotta be Domino's.
Welcome back, everyone. Awaiting the winner of this Indianapolis-San Diego game are the Kansas City Chiefs, the team with the best record in the NFL at 13-3 this season. And joining us live now from his home is defensive end Neil Smith. Neil, first of all, Happy New Year to you.
Same to you. Happy New Year, guys.
Thank you. You play the San Diego Chargers twice during the regular season. You haven't played the Indianapolis Colts in 5 years. Would you rather play a team that you know well or a team that you don't know that well?
Well, you know, if it was up to us, we'd rather play a team that we really know. We really don't know anything about the Colts, but because we haven't played them in such a long time. But, you know, San Diego, by them being in our division, you know, we both know each other very well.
Neil, Mike Ditkin, this year you played the Chargers twice. You swept them. But the second game, you know, took that return of a punt in overtime by Vanover to win the game. Now, why do you think they play you so tough?
Well, you know, we match up very well when we play each other. They're big up front, and we're really quick up front and with a little speed. And they just try to establish a running game. And if San Diego's the type of team, if you continues to let them hang around at the end, they always go downfield and hit you with a big play. And this is very concerning to what this ball game is going on now.
Neil, Joe Gibbs, you guys are 8-0 at home. You got a bunch of rabid fans there. I'd like to know how much emphasis Marty Schottenheimer put on getting home field advantage.
Well, that's all he talked about the whole year. You know, you really don't want to go in Buffalo around this time of the year. Buffalo have to feel good about themselves by, you know, being in the playoffs. But, you know, when we had Joe and we went down to Buffalo, we had a chance to win, but it was such a hard game down there. You feel comfortable at home, and I think we do too here.
Neil, Joe Montana.
Hey, Joe.
You don't have to lie to me. You can tell me the truth now. The quarterback situation, is it better or worse now?
For some reason, I knew you was going to give me that question, Joe. Well, I have to say, you know, the quarterback we had in Montana, you know, we done a lot of great things with him. You know, he's a guy that's going to the Hall of Fame. Definitely, he put our city on the map. We miss him, but we got a guy by the name of Steve Bono that's doing a job, just an excellent job for us right now.
Neil, is there much of a difference on the team this year? And certainly this is no slight to Joe, but you guys have the best record in football.
Well, I think it is. You know, we're not getting a lot of media attention. You know, a lot of people pick us like third or fourth in our division to finish, and it was a lot of building to there. You know, a lot of media away from us now. It's not just Joe, it's the Kansas City Chief again, and we feel good about ourselves. Taking nothing from you, Joe, but, you know, the team has rallied on those type of things, and that's why I think that's where we are right now, is sitting comfortable.
You know, Neil, I talked to Marty Schottenheimer earlier this week, and he told me something I know that's got to make you feel good. He said in all his years of coaching, this is the best defense he's ever had. He said he's most comfortable with this defense.
Well, I tell you what, you know, we added Coach Gunter Cunningham on our staff, and he really brought what we was missing for a long time when we had Coach Bill Cowher on our team. Motivation. He's an intense guy, wants to see everybody up on a game plan and continues to plan successful. And what he did is he took Danny Salamore and also Joe Phillips, and those two guys in the middle has really been a big difference besides the secondary. The two acquisitions that we get from the Jets and Brian Washington and Hasty, they've really been different on our ball club.
All right, Neil, congratulations on the season you've had. I know it's not over yet. Maybe we'll see you down the road, and we'll even bring the sweet potatoes. How's that?
That sounds good.
All right, Neil.
I'd like to say hello to Hank.
Neil Smith. We'll take a time out here. And our divisional playoffs for next weekend shape up like this. Early on Saturday, Buffalo at Pittsburgh. The NFL on NBC at noon, kickoff at 12:30 Eastern. On Sunday, the NFL on NBC comes your way 3:30 Eastern time. Then it's either San Diego or Indianapolis at Kansas City. We'll send you back to San Diego for the second half of our game right after these words from your local station.
For us at NBC Sports 1996. We hope you'll be with us often, and of course after the Olympic Games, right back to another great NFL season. The final wild card game goes to the second half with the Colts ahead 14-10. A look at the Coors Light halftime statistics. Each team sharing their opportunities and drives, and the statistics about as close as we'd expect. The turnovers, remember, Seau intercepted at the 1, and then the interception by McElroy in the end zone. So they shared two interceptions that could have been scores. And San Diego gets it first. It's Coleman at the 4. Up to the 25-yard line, and rudely greeted there by Indianapolis. All right. The game thus far, it's been typical Harbaugh and the Colts. You don't know if he's going to run, don't know if he's going to pass against a team that has been much better traditionally the last 2 years in the second half, San Diego, than the first.
Yeah, I think San Diego was caught off guard a little in the first half. The different coverages they saw up front, and of course I think they got caught off guard by Indianapolis's offense. A little more aggressive throwing the football. They're not able to get the pass rush they want on Jim Harbaugh.
They come out running, and it's Hayden. For 2 yards, Jim Gray.
All right, thanks, Dick. I spoke to Marshall Falk. He said he will not return. He re-aggravated his left knee. He won't return today. He said he may be able to play next week should the Colts advance. Spoke to Teddy Marchibroda. He's very happy. Felt his team was very poised. Stan Humphrey coming back on the field said his neck is fine. It hasn't inhibited him at all. Dick?
All right, thanks, Jim. Second down and 8 for San Diego. Chargers, last 16 wins, 15 have been coming from behind. Humphreys shoots Ronnie Harmon. Tony Bennett was up high in his face and might have gotten a piece of it.
Yeah, you'll see Tony Bennett to the outside right here, number 56. Watch him go up the field. Looks in, sees the quarterback, does another good job of reacting, and just enough to knock the ball up in the air over Ronnie Harmon's hands.
Well, it's 3rd and 8 for the Chargers. Humphrey only with 99 yards passing in the first half. 9 for 23 in the game. He looks long, and he's got Martin open, incomplete at the sidelines.
Oh, man, he had Tony Martin, I mean, wide open. I don't know what they were playing on as far as defense. McElroy, number 40, was so deep on the play, but that ball was just thrown too far to the outside. I don't think he would have been able to stay in bounds even if he caught it.
Well, watch right here. Ashley Ambrose, a little late coming up, didn't get the bump on Tony Martin. That's one of the reasons why he's so wide open. McElroy not able to get over the top.
Quick 3 and out. Darren Bennett, his first punt was 65 yards, but Buchanan returned at 46, set up a touchdown. Buchanan back at the Colts 25. This one is end over end and returnable. Buchanan at the 29. Hit after a 5-yard return at the 35-yard line. Terrell Fletcher made the tackle.
And by McDonald's. Have you had your break today?
Back at San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium. First down Colts at the 35. They did not go 3 and out on any possession in the first half and averaged 4.7 yards per play. Solid offensive scheme from Lindy Infante. Harbaugh, the star of the season for the Colts, and he hits Lamont Warren, and the backup to Marshall Faulk is out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Well, Jim Harbaugh at the start of the year was not the starting quarterback. It was Craig Erickson. They traded with Tampa Bay to bring Erickson to Indianapolis.
Well, you know, the one thing, talking to Teddy Marchibroda yesterday about it, he started smiling. He said it was after the Jet game when he brought him from behind. They got on the plane, they were sitting here, and he said, Jim, would you like to start? He said, yeah, I'm having a little bit of fun. Yeah, I think I would like to start. Well, he's been there ever since.
Says it's up to you, Coach. I'm doing okay off the bench. And off to Crockett, and they're waiting for him, and it's Junior Seau. No gain. It has been a revolving door for the Indianapolis Colts the last dozen years or so at the quarterback position, and stability is often measured by having the same man there. Yeah, they come and go. Pagel, Leister, Central Michigan's Gary Hogeboom, Trudeau, Hogeboom, Chris Chandler the starter, Jeff George a couple of years, and then Mark Herman. Trudeau comes back. Harbaugh, Erickson this year. And the door is stopped in the right place. Here's the man of the year in Indianapolis, Harbaugh. Third down, 1.5. And it's Warren across the 45 and a first down.
You know, Phil, you've been talking about mixing it up with this offense and giving their offensive line a chance to play in this game. I mean, this is a great call right here. They're waiting inside, everybody's jammed, and they go outside.
As you can see, you're right, Paul. The Junior Seau and the linebackers all came running inside, jamming up. Lindy Infante, one step ahead of the defense today, goes outside.
Infante, the former coach of the Packers, after he was dismissed, he was a bit bitter, admitted to that, and stayed out of football for 3 years, regarded as one of the great offensive minds in the game. First down, Harbaugh dumps it into the flat to Crockett. And coming up to make the hit from the secondary, Sean Gill.
Number 32, Zach Crockett.
In the second half this season, San Diego second only to Kansas City, least points allowed. Indianapolis has done a good job as well.
You know, Lindy Infante was very interesting yesterday. He said he was so bitter about the Green Bay and disappointed with what they did in firing him. He said, I had to walk away, and I was thinking about staying out forever. He stayed away for 3 years, and then he missed it like most coaches and players do.
4 yards on first down for Indianapolis. Fake to Warren. Harbaugh has to hurry it and throws it away. He had Warren open, didn't see him, didn't have time as Leslie O'Neal was about to crunch him.
A good job by Leslie O'Neal and the Charger defensive line. It's an all-out ball fake. Only 2 receivers go out. He does not go for the run fake, and he makes a straight line to Jim Harbaugh, and Harbaugh does a good job of getting rid of it before he saw it.
Well, they had the tight end Banta, number 83, slide out on the left-hand side, and I believe it was supposed to be a throwback to him, but the defense was so good, Bush stayed with him, he couldn't throw the ball back across the field.
O'Neal on his way to the Pro Bowl. He's last year of his contract. He'll be an unrestricted free agent. Third down 6 for Harbaugh. And it's broken up by Willie Clark, intended for Sean Dawkins.
Boy, is that an outstanding play by Clark.
Yeah, it is. I tell you, the first thing that comes to my mind, though, Paul, just watch Jim Harbaugh. He's in the pocket right here, wants the defensive line. They get up the field. Now, Jim Harbaugh wants to move or run, but he can't go anywhere because the defensive line does a good job being disciplined, staying in their lanes, making beat you from the pocket.
In comes the punter, Chris Gardocki, former Bear. Coleman at the 10. Left-footed kick, a beauty, high and deep. Fair catch, Coleman on the 10-yard line. Oh, he knew where that one was coming, didn't he? 39 yards, no return. Time out. Imagine many of those NBA stars knowing the great fans they are glued to this one as Indianapolis tries to deny San Diego that home field advantage that's held up for the first 3 games of this wild card. Hayden straight ahead for 5. That gives the Chargers 90 yards rushing. A 5-yard average. It doesn't seem like they're moving the ball that well on the ground, but 5-yard average should get it done.
You would think it puts you in a good two running plays and you got a first down. You know how quick I am? You see that? Notice that? 2 5s are 10. 10 yards of the crack. You know, say how they were looking at this. He got a bruised right forearm. We were talking to him yesterday. He said how nice it is to play with 2 arms this year, because last year he played with only 1.
2nd and 5. Papuno in motion. The wham block. And Hayden squeezes 3 more. 3rd and 2.
Dick calling out the wham blocks there. I like that. Dick's watching some film with us now. He's learning all these football terms.
Getting scary. See how they're wrapping up that right elbow. He has 7 tackles, 2 assists, and 1 interception, and he'll return.
The only reason that Dick went to watch film with you, Phil, is because he thought there was going to be popcorn and hot dogs. And
Yeah,
and then you didn't have any. He said, I'm not going again.
I was disappointed. 3rd and 1, and Hayden doesn't get to the 20. Maybe that second lurching effort. Tony Siragusa down low, the University of Pittsburgh man. Look at, they spot it right on the 20. Boy, it's going to be a tough call for you, Paul.
No, this one is, I think, easy. All he's got to do is hit the white part.
Well, it's tickling the white part.
Well, I'm looking on the other side.
Oh, he's making excuses.
No, I'm not.
So you're saying it's a first down?
I'm saying it's a first down, but just by the nose of the ball. Well, I got more than that.
Well, the playoff jitters haven't hit Paul McGuire. He's as tough as he's been all year.
Yeah, I see through the top of these, not through this point. I want to do this for stuff up close like that.
You've got that professorial look, you know?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I said that 2 5-yard carries is a first down. Isn't that smart?
Hayden carrying all 3 times to just get the 10 yards in a first down. Jefferson in motion. Humphreys underneath. Tony to the 31. 11 yards. Herod and Tate make the tackle.
Let's go back again to the first half. There was an 18-play drive with the Chargers, Phil, and here again, they're just chipping away. They're making this thing look a lot harder than it really is.
Well, I think it is hard, and then it was one of the few times I've seen the Colt defense actually play zone and give Stan Humphreys and the Chargers a chance to throw it underneath, and that's what he did right there.
Martin's second catch for only 21 yards. He had 2 bombs for touchdowns 2 weeks ago at the Hoosier Dome. The toss to Hayden to the 35-yard line. Quentin Coriat made the tackle.
Quentin Coriat, I said, you know, the dominant man in pro football on defense is Junior Seau. The dominant man on this team is number 55. Watch Quentin Coriat come down the line of scrimmage, and he's going to catch this thing from the backside. That's not only good speed, but actually good play.
That's the kind of play that can force a fumble, as well as Hayden didn't expect Coriat to be coming at him with that kind of energy.
He doesn't look 243 pounds. I'm telling you, he is, and he is quick.
Second player pick a couple of years ago. After Terrell Fletcher gets a chance, but not much yardage, as Tony Bennett and Jeff Herod there to make the stop and bring up 3rd down.
It looks like the Chargers, the one thing they do have is a size advantage. It looks like they're determined to come out here, run the football, and try to pick up some 3rd downs and maybe wear down the smaller Indianapolis Colts defense.
Now, Natron Means played a couple of downs, couple of carries, and then we didn't see him much after the first quarter, and he's not in there now.
You better cover Ronnie Harmon, number 33.
Fletcher and Harmon in the backfield on 3rd and 5. Humphreys dumps it off. Papuno. Look at the man from Tonga skip to the 49.
Almost the identical play of the touchdown right there for Papuno. As you'll look to your left, he's down at the bottom of the screen, is staying in and blocking on Tony Bennett, gets thrown out of the play. Stan Humphreys stays alive and finds number 86 the first down.
Wait a minute. The reason that Papuno was out there is because Tony Bennett threw him away. he threw him out into the flat.
A rejection pattern. First down at the 49 for San Diego. Natron is back in and not able to get to full speed. Tony Bent, one of the first to make the hit on Means, who had 730 yards rushing this year to lead the team despite playing only half a season. Has only 12 yards on 5 tries today.
Well, Natron's one of those backs that I think needs to get into the game and get 15 or 20 carries before he really becomes effective. And that's not going to happen today because of Hayden and Terrell Fletcher both playing so well. Bobby Ross, it looks like, is going to put them in any time there's a situation where there's a pass or an outside run.
Now he goes with a faster, smaller Fletcher in the backfield. Pump fake by Humphries. And then the throw to Harmon. And out of bounds, complete at the 26.
Stephen Grant is really upset because what happens on this play is Ronnie Harmon comes off the line of scrimmage. He's in the slot on the right-hand side. He runs to the flat and then up the field. There's a pump to the left side, and you've got a linebacker on Harmon all the way. And look at this.
How did he keep both feet in? That's what Grant is arguing. He said there's no way that he could get them both down. 24-yard play. Trailing 14-10. Under 6 left in the third. Means hit in the backfield, and they've got him for a loss. And Ashley Ambrose, the corner, up to help Trev Alberts with the tackle.
Excellent job on the last play. Watch Ronnie Harmon down the sideline. Stan Humphries throws the ball on the line. Looks like, whoa.
Well, from that angle, you can't tell. But I don't know about the first foot might have been inbounds, but that second foot didn't look at that. This last play, Stephen Grant, number 59, he's the guy that foiled this baby. He was in the backfield and almost made the tackle in the backfield.
Flag down. And a huddle by the officiating crew. We're at the 5:32 mark in the third.
We will get word from the white hat.
There is no foul on the play. There were 11 men legally on the play.
Yeah, the Natron must have said there's more than 11 out there the way they hit me.
That's good. They're bringing some extra people.
Loss of a yard for Means, who doesn't normally see that minus mark in front of his carries. Another long drive for San Diego. They trail by 4. They send Harmon out of the backfield on 2nd and 11. Good protection for Humphries. Fletcher again wiggles loose to the 15. And still on his feet to the 11. Terrell Fletcher, 7 times rushed for 100 yards for the Badgers of Wisconsin a year ago.
Terrell Fletcher having an excellent day. Pass receiving right here. Good protection by the San Diego Chargers offensive line. And Stan Humphries is finally going to look over the middle and stick it to him. And he knows Quentin Coriat's coming. Does a good job of stopping and reversing the field.
Chargers go the full 10 yards and would get a first down by inches. Bring in Natron Means. And Humphries calls a timeout with 4:26 left in the third. The NFL playoffs on NBC. Terrell Fletcher was an English major at Wisconsin, and he loves to read Shakespeare and trying to be a part of a very important drama today.
Well, he's reading defenses very well because he's getting open.
What is it? He caught 3 passes all year, 2 today for big yardage, and Crockett had 1 carry all year, 33-yard touchdown today. Here we go. The playoffs, and those that haven't contributed suddenly making the big ones.
Well, they step up. You know, it's a big game. It's time to step up and be counted.
4 for 4 for Humphries on first down from the 11. Drills a touchdown. Sean Jefferson all alone. Phil Simms, you give any quarterback 6 seconds down on the goal line, find a man open.
That's what happened, Dick, is only 2 receivers basically went out for the pass. The offensive line does a good job of protecting Stan Humphries. The defense thinks it run, no pass rush, and Sean Jefferson does a good job of adjusting his route.
Well, Tate has him in the end zone. He falls down, number 49, so when he does that,
Extra point by Carney. San Diego 17, Indianapolis 14. A 90-yard drive and 12 plays for the lead.
The two-man receiver routes. Here's Sean Jefferson's going to run up to the back of the end zone. Watch David Tate. The offensive line, they sell out on the run. It freezes the defense. David Tate says the ball's got to be thrown sometime soon. Sean Jefferson does a good job of stopping and coming back.
Well, the problem is that Tate should stay with him. He's not even looking at Jefferson. And here's Jefferson. He slides back in because on the other side of the field, he's got Ray Buchanan who's giving him help. So if Jefferson goes there, he just releases him on that side. You only got two guys going. You only got two guys going down. But again, Dick hit it on the head. When you've got 6 seconds to throw the ball, you've got to find somebody open.
Tony Martin was right next to him. He was wide open, too. Humphrey was 5 for 5 on that drive and 75 yards. Carney sends it to Aaron Bailey at the goal line. Bailey struggles to the 19. Tackled by Terrence Shaw. Well, the Chargers with 4:09 left in the third, back in front by 3. College receiver, tough to catch these when you're that wide open?
No, because when I was in college, I never dropped the ball, so these were very easy for me. But look, it is easy.
It's a good job by Stan Humphries as a quarterback. When you have that much time and a receiver gets that wide open, sometimes you have a tendency to kind of pull back and throw it short. But not Stan. He throws another fastball for a touchdown.
Harbaugh and the Colts start from their 19. Trailing by 3 late in the third. Crockett hit in the backfield, breaks a tackle. Look at this young guy rumble. He reminds you of William Floyd, the way he breaks tackles and charges on. He was stopped for a possible loss and makes the first down.
Is that Sean Lee in the backfield? Yeah, it is. 98. Look at this. He has a dead hit at him, and Crockett just brushes him off and picks up the first down. You know what I like about this guy? When he gets into the open field, the one thing he does, he tries to find somebody to run over. You know, he looked affected the little guys.
Look at that. One rush,
shot at you.
no yards, and then today 73 yards on 9 carries and a touchdown.
Give him the ball.
8-yard average for Zach Crockett. Into the flat, and Turner hit immediately by Dwayne Harper.
But it's a 4-yard gain. That's a positive play.
At the 34-yard line. Harbaugh wears that number 4, and that's not, 12 was always the jersey number, Bradshaw and Staubach and all the rest. In fact, Stan Humphries wearing the number 12. 4 suddenly has become the number. Harbaugh, the number 1 passer in the league. Number 2, Brett Favre in efficiency, another number 4.
Number 11 was my favorite number.
You and Phil, inseparable. With Warren in motion, Harbaugh underneath to Crockett, and the big fullback to the 40, very close to the first down. Lewis Bush made the tackle.
Excellent job right here by Jim Harbaugh looking down the field. San Diego's defense does a good job of dropping back and taking away the receivers down the field. But look, nobody's picking up Zach Crockett. Jim Harbaugh does an excellent job of dropping it off to his 3rd receiver, picking up the first down.
You know, we're seeing on both sides of the ball, Dick, young guys stepping up in this football game, and that's what has to happen in the playoffs. You have to have some people step up and be counted for.
Without Marshall Faulk, play action Harbaugh. He goes to the sidelines deep to Turner, and the first down at the San Diego 46.
You know, what we're seeing, Phil, is 2 offensive lines that are doing a great job because both of these quarterbacks have all the time in the world to throw the ball.
Well, it's a good play-action fake, and Floyd Turner has a chance to drive off the defender to give himself some space so Jim Harbaugh can throw it.
Here's what I'm talking about. Watch this line. Play action. They're frozen. They're there. I mean, he's got all day to throw the ball. We're seeing both quarterbacks. It's like a shooting gallery.
1:40 left in the third period. Draw play, and Crockett ducks breaks under the defensive pressure. Seau was in the backfield, had him for a moment, and Crockett turns a negative into a gain of almost 4.
Phil, Sean Lee's going to say, what do I got to do to bring this guy down? Number 98 is Sean Lee. He is in the backfield. Watch him. Here's Crockett. There's Sean Lee. I can't get him. Seau is down. He runs through him. This guy's a bull.
Yeah, the Colts have found themselves a more than capable replacement for the veteran Roosevelt Potts. Potts injured, knee injury, out possibly for the rest of the year 2 weeks ago in the San Diego game. 2nd and 6 for Harbaugh. O'Neal hits him as he throws to Gilger, incomplete. Contact by Bush, but the pass too long.
You know, we were talking about this offensive line. They came with the blitz and charges this time, and they picked it up fairly well.
Excellent job, and Jim Harbaugh goes down the field to the single coverage. And watch Junior Seau and the linebackers come through there. The Colts do a good job of recognizing it, giving him time to go down the field to the single coverage on his tight end, but good coverage by the Chargers.
Colts bench wanted a flag as Gilger was bumped from behind. Could have been uncatchable ruled by the official. 3rd and 7 for Harbaugh, shotgun. Here comes Seau. They pick him up. And Harbaugh's going long for Sean Dawkins. Touchdown, Indianapolis! 42 yards to Sean Dawkins.
I mean, the ball is absolutely perfect. The catch is magnificent. I'll tell you something. I can't believe, you know, Harbaugh told us yesterday, he said, I am a very accurate passer. People didn't believe that for a long period of time. He said, but I can throw the ball down the field. And he just proved it to everybody.
Given time to throw, even when he throws on the run, he shows he has great accuracy. And right there, he did a good job of recognizing the blitz. Single coverage outside on Sean Dawkins and throws the perfect pass.
Colts back in front, 2017, and now the try for point by Kerry Blanchard, who joined the team after the 4th game when they released Mike Cofer. Blanchard pounds it through, and it's 21-17. Sean Dawkins, the 16th player picked 2 years ago out of California.
Well, it was a blitz by the San Diego Chargers, and look at the room. The offensive line gives Jim Harbaugh the step up and throw a nice high pass, so Sean Dawkins has time to react to the pass.
All right, they see Junior Seau. Harbaugh reads it on the blitz because you're always aware of where he is. There he is on the line of scrimmage. He is being held. Almost gets to Harbaugh, not in time, but Harbaugh drops this thing off.
What a beautiful throw to Dawkins. And Harbaugh doesn't have to look at the big screen for that one. 21-17. Dawkins with that catch reminds you that he has very good taste in the offseason up in Northern California. You know, he worked out with in college for a couple of summers? A guy named Jerry Rice.
Oh. And remember what we showed at the beginning of the game, Ted Marchibroda, when he walked up to Harbaugh. What does he say to him before every game, Phil?
Let it rip, Jimmy.
He just let it rip.
What a year for the comeback kid, Jim Harbaugh.
Well, it shouldn't be surprising. He played solid all year long. When they do the quarterback ratings, I think over half of his starts, he was over 100 in those games in the quarterback rating. Very efficient, and like you said, Paul, he knows he's an accurate passer.
He's got great teeth.
Kicks it off.
That's important.
Pullman at the 7. Pullman with flags down is tackled at the 28, and there's a bunch of yellow linen down. Damon Watts first to make the tackle. That was an impressive 81-yard drive in 7 plays. Dawkins' 42-yard touchdown reception. You know, they had Flipper Anderson, who started the first couple of games, looked like he's going to be a world beater, and injured not for the entire year. And these Colts have really stepped up off the bench. Well, NBC Sports and the NFL have combined forces to create the best postseason NFL site online. Check in for game analysis and team previews, along with Super Bowl memories provided by our own Phil Simms, Paul McGuire, Joe Montana, Joe Gibbs, Mike Ditka, many more of our NBC team. It's the best online source for all your postseason NFL action. It can only be found at superbowl.com. Well, the penalty goes against the Colts. Conrad Clark's for a face mask. apparently meeting that wedge, used the face mask to throw away the blocker.
Hands to the face.
We're going to see Connor. Here he comes right here, right there. He puts his hand up on the face mask, but doesn't grab hold of it, but he does hit it with his hand.
Flag was down before the foul was committed.
The flag wasn't on Wilmot. It was on Clark's, Conrad Clark's. But they could have had that. That was the second flag with another face mask.
5 yards on the penalty to the 33. San Diego now trying to play catch up as Hayden breaks a couple of tackles. Out to the 37-yard line before Tony Bennett and Jeff Farad can make the tackle. Final seconds, third quarter.
Number 54, Jeff Farad.
This has been a very interesting game. And the thing with the Colts, when they're scoring their touchdown, they're keeping this thing on the 4. And when the Chargers get the ball and they score a touchdown, it's on the 3.
Humphreys has no mind or intent on getting another play away. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Welcome back. The fourth quarter opens with Indianapolis leading 21-17. Terrell Fletcher on the draw play. We're using the rookie. He's in the clear for a moment. And finally dragged down at the 43-yard line. Saving a touchdown was Jason Belser. If he pulls free from Belser, he's got nothing but real estate in front of him.
Well, watch how quick Terrell Fletcher makes a decision right here. He's going left. Nope. I see a hold to the right, and he shoots right through it. Excellent job. Good job by Joe Cacuzo staying with Jeff Farad and making the block.
There was no indecision on that run.
20 yards for Fletcher. They've spotted him beautifully today. First down at the Indy 43. Now it's Aaron Hayden. Rookie to rookie. Fletcher from Wisconsin. Hayden from Tennessee. Hayden with 15.
We're seeing some running backs who have fresh legs who are getting through those holes in a hurry. And either one of these. I'm sorry, Dick, go ahead.
I was just going to say Tony McCoy injured on the play.
Well, he's grabbing his calves. That looks more to me like cramps than anything else.
15 yards.
Let's go back to the run. Aaron Hayden.
Well, watch the center, Courtney Hall right here, and the right guard, Joe Cacuzo, take out Tony McGee right there and creates the big hole. Tony McCoy right there, number 61, and creates the big hole for the running back. Good job by the Charger offensive line.
While they attend to the injured Indianapolis Colt, let's take this break. This fourth quarter will decide what kind of New Year's Eve celebration they have in San Diego and Indianapolis as Humphreys goes to work. Comes in for Jefferson. And the man who caught the touchdown pass in the third period has a first down. Ashley Ambrose on the coverage.
Ashley Ambrose is on the coverage, but he does slip, and Jefferson comes back. He runs him off pretty good.
Well, the last couple big runs by the Chargers, what it did is it made the Indianapolis defense play single coverage on the outside to keep those safeties inside. Stan Humphreys does a good job of recognizing that and throwing the ball outside.
Last three plays have all been big. 20 yards Fletcher, 15 for Hayden. Now the 12-yard pass to Jefferson. First down at the 16 of the Colts. Hayden can't get through the hole. Solid tackle by Ellis Johnson, the #1 draft pick of the Colts out of the University of Florida.
For those of you in Indianapolis are wondering why Eugene Daniel is not in the ballgame, as they warmed up, he twisted his knee a little bit, and he asked not to start in the ballgame and put Ambrose in for him.
Well, you think of this game, you'd be thinking about Natron Means and Marshall Falk. The game's come down to Crockett and Hayden, two rookies. Crockett with 76 yards rushing, Hayden with 77. Harmon in now with Fletcher. Humphreys slides at the 11, and some fans thought with a slide he shouldn't have taken that hit. Trev Alberts and Jeff Farad make the stop.
You have to slide with your feet forward. You cannot turn your body and slide. If you do that, you're just a runner with the football, and they have a chance to crack you. And that's exactly what they did.
Humphreys with a smile looking at the official as if to say, how about it? At the 12-yard line, there it is. Crockett and Hayden tuning in today to see how Natron and Marshall Falk have been non-factors. And these kids have. On 3rd and 6, Harmon in the backfield. Humphreys, incomplete, and no flag. Ashley Ambrose picks it up, intended for Tony Martin, and on comes the field goal unit for San Diego.
Here you can see the wide receiver on the outside, Tony Martin. Ashley Ambrose does an excellent job of seeing the quick drop by the quarterback, driving through that slant pattern. They're expecting that from the Chargers when they get up there and show blitz. The Chargers are throwing those short routes. Indianapolis is doing a good job of reacting.
Now you know what I'm talking about with San Diego on the 3 and Indianapolis Colts on the 4. They can only get within 1.
This will be a 30-yard attempt. Carney matching his career long at 54 in the first half. And the reliable kicker from Notre Dame knocks it through. We have a 1-point game. Indianapolis 21, San Diego 20. Here's 20. Reminder tomorrow, start your New Year's. The Toyota Gator Bowl, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 on the West Coast. Freshman sensation Donovan McNabb leads the Orangemen of Syracuse against the Clemson Tigers. The Toyota Gator Bowl tomorrow on NBC.
I'm looking at that scoreboard, Mr. Enberg, and you said we were sitting here before this game. It's probably going to take 30 points to win this football game. 21-20?
Maybe not. Maybe the next touchdown will do it. Ronald Humphrey and Aaron Bailey deep. Carney sends it to the 6-yard line to Humphrey. Found a crack, and Terrell Fletcher, boy, he's all over the field on special teams, makes another stop.
The 6-yard line.
Harbaugh with good field position at the 35. Last 4 possessions, 3 touchdowns engineered by Jim Harbaugh. He wears number 4 because of a idol athlete in another sport, Bobby Orr, great Boston Bruins defenseman, his favorite. In fact, he said, my best birthday Christmas gift was I got an autographed Bobby Orr jersey, or himself autographed. I already got it framed. Here comes Crockett, and Zach has a first down and more. Now he's in the clear at the 40, the 30. 2 men chase at the 20, and Crockett has another touchdown. My, oh my! 66 yards for Zach Crockett. A star is born.
All right, now what's his average? I'll tell you something. It is really a joy to do a game like this when you see people that have not had the opportunity all year long to play, and now they get it and what they do with it. This man here, well, look at him smiling. He's not tired now. He will be when he gets to the bench.
What's his average? 12.9 a carry, 142 yards in 11 lugs of the ball for Zach Crockett. He's got a 66 and a 33-yard touchdown run. And now the try for point to give Indianapolis an 8-point lead. They've got it. 28-20. The Colts in the lead. Best run in Colts playoff history. Tom Maddie in Super Bowl III, the infamous Super Bowl III for the Baltimore Colts, ran 58. Zach Crockett wipes Maddie's name off the book. 66 yards for this rookie. What a game for Zach Crockett. You know, you prepare yourself for a game. You see Potts is out. Here's a kid from Florida State. Carried the ball once all year. No game. Down to Andre Coleman. Coleman twists out of the tackle. And he's out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Aaron Bailey chasing him out.
Well, let's see how he got this big run. Here's Leslie O'Neal right here. Watch him come inside. Will Wolford outside. Watch him come up the field now and make a block on Lewis Bush, the linebacker. Leslie O'Neal goes inside. That block right there gave him the open hole to get up the field.
Now, see 21 in your frame there. Watch what he does. Lamont Warren. He's the guy that gets the touchdown. What's it? He takes out 1, 2, 3. Isn't that nice? I mean, here's a guy hustling downfield to make a block for you.
Excellent hustle. Look at the right there. Leslie O'Neal overcommits inside, opens up the hole, and then Zach Crockett does an excellent job. As you said, Dick, showing great speed for a fullback, getting outside, and Lamont Warren doing an excellent job of hustling and making the play.
Well, Lamont Warren actually makes a block up around a 35-yard line first. He makes a block there, and then he gets back downfield, and it just kind of screens out the other 3 players.
He bumped 3 defenders on the way down there that time.
So that normally would have been Roosevelt Potts running and Marshall Falk blocking, and here's the combination of Crockett and Warren, two youngsters, creating a big play for the Colts.
You've got to give a lot of credit to the Colts and their drafting these guys and actually picking them fairly high and looking to the future, and it's paying off today.
How many times can the Chargers come back?
Trailing 28-20. Rodney Harrison was shaken up on the kick return for San Diego, helped off the field from the 29. Humphries goes deep and is going to go almost into the arms of Jason Belser over Sean Jefferson's head.
Well, now you know, Phil, you were asking me during the break why the two-point play in football. They put it in for this game. It's now 28-20, and the Colts are ahead, and the Chargers will have a chance, if they score a touchdown, to go for two. See, it was designed just for the playoffs.
Boss Ross marching the sidelines. 28-20 down. 2nd and 10 from the Charger 29. Draw play to Fletcher. He ducks under a tackle and makes a couple as Tony Siragusa, not fooled at all, played that draw well and was waiting for Fletcher.
Dick, I'm hearing booing because they ran a draw play. Every time Fletcher's touched the ball, he's made something happen. Don't boo him or this guy now.
Well, Treason, the offensive coordinator, tried to come up with a big play here on 3rd down and a long 8.
Jack, you got Jack.
Harmon in. Jefferson intercepted. Belser, 40, 30, 2 men to beat and knocked out of bounds inside the 25-yard line by Eric Moten.
Well, if you wanted to know where Eugene Daniel has been, he was waiting in the secondary to tip this ball. What a play he makes on the ball.
Go ahead.
No.
Paul, Stan Humphries really has no reason to throw this. This is where sometimes you have a strong arm, you think you can stick it in there. Eugene Daniels comes off the underneath receiver, breaks back, tips the ball so Jason Belser can pick it off.
That's the 3rd interception for the Colts, all 3 on deflections of some sort or another.
The tip drill, Dick. I keep telling you, that's why you and I are going to practice this tip drill before we go to the Super Bowl.
Before New Year's. So the Colts have it at the 23-yard line on Belser's interception. Chance to put it away, leading by 8. Crockett, who else? Breaking tackles again and takes half the Charger team to stop the rookie.
Well, number 58, Lewis Bush, found out that you're not going to get an arm on Crockett and bring him down. He's the guy that had the shot, and Crockett just breaks loose of that. This kid is strong. Crockett is strong. Dave Adolph, defensive coordinator for the Chargers, trying to put something together. What he needs is something for his defense to do a turnover, get something back, get momentum. And the guy he's got to depend on is Junior Seau.
Well, they got in this situation last week, and he got very aggressive, started blitzing. Junior Seau made some plays for the defense that turned the game around.
2nd down, 8. Harbaugh under pressure, and down he goes. Sean Lee with a sack. He had 8 during the season.
But right there, the San Diego Chargers came with the blitz, singled up all those offensive linemen, and Sean Lee has been doing an excellent job all day of pushing the pocket, gets up inside to make the sack.
You know, they have a delayed blitz by the linebacker coming up inside, and that's Gibson, Dennis Gibson. But the 4 guys up front are the guys who created that. There was a blitz, and the push was there.
10-yard loss, 2nd San Diego sack. 3rd and 18. Harbaugh in the shotgun. To the sidelines and wide open as Turner twisted around. He's got the 1st down and more inside the 10. What a big play for Harbaugh.
Now, wait a minute. You remember we were talking about Harbaugh, and he said they taught me how to throw the ball down and away from the defenders. And you were asking me, so why are you so successful? Watch where he throws this ball.
Well, here's what he should do. Here you see Turner right here is going to come up here and run out. Why he throws it low, the corner up top could come off and make a play, but the outside receiver does a good job of pushing him off. Excellent throw by Jim Harbaugh.
Well, that was down and to the outside, exactly where they want him to throw the football.
He says that's the one big difference in my style, throwing the ball low. We don't necessarily have to get all the yards, get it low, or my receiver has the best shot. Here comes Crockett, and that's exactly what the defense of San Diego is trying to do is Crockett, and they stop him after a 2-yard gain. They haven't been very successful. Stan Humphries now, and the offense of the Chargers in a frustrating circumstance, down by 8 and watching the opposition deep inside the 10.
When was the last time a visiting team in the AFC has won a playoff game?
Yeah, not since 90. It's 11-0 for the home team in the wild card AFC since 90. Just is twisted down. The defender was Junior Seau getting a piece of him, but Willie Clark as well knocked him off balance.
An excellent job by this Colt offensive line. The defensive front of the Chargers is getting a little tired because they're bigger, and you can see right here, nice opening hole, and Junior Seau gets over there to make the grab to keep him from going in for the touchdown.
That looked as if it had a touchdown set up. Good hole. Seau just able to extend himself enough to get Warren at the 4.
Well, you see what Seau did, though. He didn't get caught up in the defensive line or with the offensive line. He played off his own man to make the play.
On 3rd down, Harbaugh, the draw. Touchdown!
I wonder if he's having any fun yet. He said, I'm having fun, didn't he?
Well, he must be having fun. And, Paul, you always talk about how running backs in the NFL need patience to be good runners. Right there, Jim Harbaugh showed patience, let it develop before at the last second makes his mind up, picks the right hole, and scores a touchdown.
Well, did you see what he did on the way back? Well, he's running off the field. He high-fived Junior Seau. I mean, I think he picked the wrong guy. Look at him. He's laughing. He's having fun. He and Coach Marchibroda, let it fly. Let it rip.
His dad is the head coach at Western Kentucky, Jack. And in the offseason, the spring, he'll go, and he's a full-time assistant coach at Western Kentucky. Tried for point by Blanchard. And it's a 15-point lead for the underdog Indianapolis Colts, 35-20. Eugene Daniels tip pass, the interception by Jason Belser, and return to the 23. And Jim Harbaugh, 4 yards on the quarterback draw. And this is truly one of the terrific stories of the National Football League season, and his smile says much of it all. Here's a guy at 32 has just said basically, okay, I'll be a backup quarterback. You want Craig Erickson, bring him in from Tampa Bay, I'll be a good team player. He's become a pro star this year, his best every year. Andre Coleman stopped cold at the 21-yard line. Conrad Clarks makes the stop.
Well, it's an excellent job by Jim Harbaugh of running and finding the hole, but look at the offensive line sustaining those blocks, giving him a chance to run 8 yards from behind the line of scrimmage for the touchdown.
Well, it starts with the Stan Humphries interception. It gets it down that far, but you're absolutely right. That offensive line did a tremendous job staying with those blocks, knowing that the quarterback. Now here's. Look at this, Saragusa, Belzer, he's the guy that intercepted the ball.
And now 15-point desperation situation in the 4th quarter. Kapunu knocked out of bounds. Clock will run until we get to the 5-minute mark on out-of-bounds plays.
Now, Dick, and I said Harbaugh was trying to high-five Junior Seau. I think maybe he got confused. He hit him on the shoulder. Thanks, Junior.
He got his hand out of there in a hurry, too, didn't he?
Junior Seau bite it off.
That wasn't in any way intimidation to Seau.
No.
I mean, he said before the game, I love watching Seau play, even when he's against me. He's such an intense, terrific athlete. Second down. Up the middle it goes. And it's Ronnie Harmon to the 49-yard line. A 20-yard play. Damon Watts makes the tackle. The Chargers know they've got to take advantage of every second now. 6:13 left. They used one timeout earlier in this half, so they have only 2 remaining. No huddle. Humphries underneath and knocked down. He wanted to go to Harmon. It appeared to be Tony Bennett that got a hand on it.
Well, that time the Indianapolis Colts changed their defense up, but before, Paul, they were playing your favorite defense. They ran really a prevent defense, let the Chargers throw it underneath, and you see Tony Bennett right there. Vaughn Parker, number 77, has done a good job all day long, but a good job by Bennett seeing Stan Humphries getting ready to throw it, jumping up and knocking it down.
Did you see what Tony Bennett? Most guys would be high-fiving guys running around. Tony Bennett's tired. He knocked the ball down, turned around, went back in the huddle.
Humphries. Flat incomplete and a flag down where one would suspect offensive holding as Humphries about to go down. Trev Alberts, the second-year backer from Nebraska, was in on him, and holding is the call against San Diego.
Harry Swain, number 72, may be the culprit on this play.
Holding offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
You couldn't get your finger in that mask. You see that thing? Well, here he is right there on the end of the line. And he's holding. That's Johnson. He's holding. That flag comes out right away.
Second down and 20 for the Chargers. America's been rocking with noise at times, but quiet now. Humphries. Tried to make the one-handed catch. He was in the open, but a tough chance.
You know the reason, one of the reasons why I totally dislike the prevent defense, and I know they're up by 15 points, the Colts, but one of the reasons I hate the prevent defense because it allows the other team to get back in the ball game. If you stop a team in a 60-minute ball game for 58 minutes, why in 2 minutes do you have to let them go up and down the field? I hate that.
Yeah, but you look at Vince Tobin, he's got to say he didn't want that one quick strike and let the Chargers right back in it without consuming any time. Now 3rd and 20. Down the middle for Harmon, intercepted by Belser again. The 4th Indianapolis interception, and Belser at the 45. 40 of San Diego. And finally out of bounds at the 30. So number 4 Harbaugh, who had 4 comeback wins to get the Colts in the playoffs, and now 4 interceptions for his teammates on defense. And Alex Spanos, the 72-year-old owner of the Chargers, feels much as most of this crowd must, the dismay of this incredible effort by Harbaugh and an unknown Zach Crockett and a defense that's produced 4 interceptions.
See, that's why I like to prevent defense.
There you go.
It gets that safety back deep enough where he can make that interception. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, it was an obvious situation, 3rd and 20, and Paul, the safeties both were back there. They just waited for Stan Humphries. He had to throw it down the field. They reacted to the ball. It was just an easy interception for Jason Belzer.
Had 1 all year. Gets 2 in the first playoff game. Gross is in at fullback now for Crockett, and Lamont Warren, no gain at the 30. The Colts are tough when they win the turnover battle. When they have gotten the ball away more than given it up, they're 7-0 this year. Last 6 possessions, 5 touchdowns and a punt. Taking charge of the game.
Well, it's been some great play by Jim Harbaugh, some good runs by the running back, but the offensive line has done its job, but it's been an excellent game strategy-wise by the Colts. Coaches, Lindy and Fonte, have done an excellent job of calling the play that the Chargers didn't expect in so many situations today.
We did these guys against Miami when they came back from a 24-3 deficit at halftime to win the ball game in overtime. But before that game, I remember Harbaugh saying to us, I play ugly. There's nothing fancy about me. I think he's starting to play pretty now, isn't he?
Well, I don't think it's really ever been ugly this year. It's just his way of, you know, he keeps deflecting the praise that you try to give him, and he doesn't want to be the guy out in front of the team, but he's going to have to start taking some of this praise because he's doing such a wonderful job.
Well, no matter how you cut it, he has blossomed as an Indianapolis Colt, whether it's because he's playing differently than he did in Chicago or whether he's matured at 32. This has been a sensational season for this young guy. Lamont Warren making sure he doesn't fumble back at the 33-yard line. The Colts have not won a playoff game in 24 years. And they sit now just 5 minutes and a few seconds away. Be interesting to see what Mike Ditka has to say about Jim Harbaugh. I know they're good friends. We weren't intimating at all that they weren't, but he did tell us that the attitude was when he was in Chicago was don't lose the game.
Well, that's always a tough stance for a quarterback to take because they tell you, well, don't lose the game sometimes. And Dave Wanstead, Jim Harbaugh told us that's what he told him 2 years ago when he's with the Bears.
And off to Warren, and right there to make the tackle was John Perella, who has blossomed as one of the better young defensive linemen in the league here in San Diego. Well, we mentioned the last time the Colts won a playoff game was 1971. The quarterback, the great Johnny Unitas, leading the Colts to victory. Don Nottingham scored 2 touchdowns. The Colts beat the Browns 20-3. The human bowling ball into the end zone. That's a long wait for the fans that have cheered the horseshoe on the helmet.
Well, here are the Chargers. They just took their final timeout. They're 15 points down, and they have no timeouts left. 4:39 on the clock. You're still not out of a ball game, and I don't think there's any player that ever feels that you are. But when a team comes in, that you have the feeling that you can beat them. You know, you had just beaten them 2 weeks ago, and you realize, you know, we can beat this team. We took them on in their place and beat them. We can beat them here and then be down by 15 points with about 4.5 minutes to go. That's a long, long way back.
Zach Crockett, 147 yards rushing today. A postseason rushing record. When you think of all the great men who have carried the ball for the Colts in the playoffs, Lenny Moore and Matty and Boulash and others. TD runs of 33 and 66 yards. Will that phone call for Crockett home be delicious tonight?
I'll tell you, if there's any money left under the cap, they ought to give this guy a bonus for his job today.
Gardocki will punt as Coleman back at the 10-yard line. Buchanan can't quite make the catch on the goal line. He had carefully stayed in bounds and then picked up there. No risk by San Diego. The Chargers will get it at the 20-yard line.
20-yard line, guys. 20-yard line.
Leading Bucky into the end zone and for a touchback.
It appears now that it will be the Indianapolis Colts going to Kansas City. Chiefs haven't faced the Colts since 1990, and Marty Schottenheimer will send Steve Bono. And the best record in the NFL, 13-3. Marcus Allen ready. Derek Thomas, the great pass rusher. Dan Salimua on his way to a Pro Bowl, and Neil Smith. Is he going to be on the post-game show, Neil? Well, we'll hear what he has to say about these Colts. How he's going to stop Crockett. Ronnie Harmon trying to dance his way free, but dropped after an 8-yard gain by Tony McCoy. And, of course, the clock running now, 4:14, 4:13. Hurry up for Humphreys. To the sidelines, complete, but unable to get out of bounds. Sean Jefferson. Clock runs at 3:59 now. Eugene Daniels, the cover man. Trailing by 15. Hurry up is Humphreys with no timeouts to use.
Indianapolis is way off of the receivers. What they want to do is just make him throw it underneath so they can tackle him.
Goes to the center of the field to Tony Martin, and it's ruled a catch at the 45-yard line. 3:36.
Just keep the clock moving.
Yeah, we talked to Tony Saragusa yesterday, and he just told us we're not going to let this team run it. If they're going to beat us, they're going to have to pass and beat us.
Underneath to Harmon. Brought down at the 34-yard line. About time for Humphreys to put one on the ground and get everyone catch their breath. Maybe not. He's calling the play. 3:12.
Well, he's got the defense backing up.
Incomplete, trying to find Harmon, and very close to Ellis Johnson making an interception. Tony Bennett applying some pressure. So with 3:03 left, San Diego trying to make up 15 without a timeout. You watch, and you've been a fan all your life, Phil, and Paul as well. What was the best in your recollection in this situation where you had no timeouts, we could still beat you? Was it Montana?
Well, Montana, but I would pick John Elway because he has the ability to move around and make plays down the field. And Stan has that ability if he can break the pocket.
Oh, they get clean on him this time, and Freddie Joe Nunn with a sack, and Humphreys, who was injured in the Giant game, looks as if that neck took another pinch. That's the first sack today. His line has helped him out. Oh, he is a tough guy. He does.
Oh, he just said get away from him, because they know if they work on him, then they got to take him out of the game for a play. Here it comes.
Freddie Joe Nunn just came off the bench. Indianapolis just rotated defensive lines. He was fresh. showed some speed, got around Vaughn Parker right there.
Clock running. Third down and a bunch. Deep to Martin, tipped away again by Ashley Ambrose. Hasn't he had a good game? Ambrose in his fourth season with the Colts out of New Orleans, the same city that produced teammate Marshall Faulk.
I was talking about Tony Saragusa, and I'm going to tell you, he gives Humphreys a shot at the end of this play. He breaks a double team and gets to the quarterback and forces Humphreys to throw the ball.
Tony, a New Jersey high school wrestling champion.
You want to tell us exactly what he said yesterday?
The bleeps.
I love it.
He's the bleep man. You were the only one who understood.
He's terrific. He is terrific.
Fourth down, last call for Humphreys. He needs 19. Hit as he throws and complete. And the Colts now can start a serious celebration as Harbaugh brings the offense out on down. San Diego gives it up. Well, it was a great run for San Diego to get here. 5 straight wins to close out the season from 4-7. The Colts, one of those victims 2 weeks ago, but Indianapolis, clearly the better team today.
But you know, I wonder if Harbaugh's going to come back on again, because it just take the knee if that's what he's going to do. Now, he is coming out. They're going to run this down. The Chargers have no more timeouts. 2:35. They can take it down to 2. And then just, you know, be very careful with this guy, because you're going to Kansas City and you don't want anything to happen to Harbaugh.
That's right. You put him back in because you don't want a fumbled exchange or anything to give the Chargers one more chance.
41-yard line. Zach Crockett in there. It's Lamont Warren trying to steal it of the Chargers. Leslie O'Neal gets him to the ground at the 45-yard line at the 2:25 mark. And Harbaugh doesn't have to run a play to the 2-minute warning. Colt injured or cramped on the play at the 45. It's Crockett.
So many things today were surprising, I think, for us sitting up here. One of them, I think, is the ability the Colts have or had to run the football. I did not think they could run the football against this San Diego defensive front.
What he's got cramps too. He grabbed his calf, and you know what? When you get cramps in your legs, your toes go down, and you can't get them back up again. That's what he wants to get done. We've seen it happen to a couple of the Colts today. McCoy was one.
Reminder, stay tuned. The post-game show that'll wrap up the weekend's wild card playoffs. Get the comments from our Super Bowl coaches Ditka and Gibbs, and Super Joe Montana as well, as Harbaugh just watches the seconds chew away down to the 2-minute timeout. Indy by 15. Bowl and figure skating tomorrow, 35-20, as you look down from the Goodyear Blimp Eagle, based in Carson, California. We send our best New Year's wishes to all you fans throughout the country, and Dick Ebersol right on through our entire NBC sports team. Look forward to what should be an incredible year of sports here on the Peacock. Jim Harbaugh celebrating an incredible year. The Colts, with a victory today, will have defeated both Super Bowl opponents of a year ago, San Diego Chargers, and earlier this year in October, the San Francisco 49ers. Steve Young on that day had his troubles, injuring his shoulder on this big hit. And then right before half, the Colts held the 49ers on 4th and goal. It was that man Jason Belser. Colts responded second half. Ken Dilger's 15-yard touchdown reception gave the Colts a 12-7 lead on the way to a 1-point victory. Ted Marchibroda's team 9-7 on the year, and now today a victory over San Diego with 1:18 left. On third down and 4, they use their first time out.
You know, he really is. He came in to talk to us yesterday. Marchibroda said, man, has this been a fun year.
Well, you know, the attitude of quarterback and coach are much alike, aren't they? It's a high-pressure, big ego business, sports in general, and certainly in the National Football League. But probably if you were going to take a coach-quarterback combination with the least ego in that package, that would be my pick.
Yeah, those two would be, and I think we said it earlier. They looked at each other yesterday, he said, and Ted Marchibroda said they looked at each other and they just started laughing. They said, "Can you believe what we're doing?" And it just shows you how much fun they're having it, and I think that's one of the reasons why they're having success.
Isn't Harbaugh up for a new contract?
I think he better.
Well, he said what he said to his agent yesterday in the lobby of the hotel. He says, "Don't ask for too much. No, I want to stay here. Don't ask for too much."
He's going to get married at the Pro Bowl. He's going to be married in Honolulu as part of the celebration of making his first Pro Bowl. Kneel down. And while we have a moment, there is one man we especially want to congratulate on this last day of 1995, who's in St. Vincent's Hospital in Indianapolis. Owner Robert Ursay, 72, suffered a stroke a month ago, and I know Bob watching on television today, and this I'm sure will be a present that your team and your executives will bring back to you, and on to Kansas City next week to start a new year.
You know, it is true, though. They started out with 12 teams. And Buffalo's coach, Marv Levy, we congratulate the Buffalo Bills for winning. But Marv Levy said on his show the other night, he says, you know, the amazing thing about it, 12 teams start into the playoffs, Dick. And at the end of it, 11 of them end their season with a loss. And, you know, that's incredible when you think about that. You don't want to end the season in a loss.
And the deepest punishment of all is the team that loses in the Super Bowl, because they're the last one to lose. Right. And they have they're remembered as the last loser of a given season. Our executive producer of NBC Sports is Tommy Roy, coordinating producer of the NFL on NBC, and the producer of today's game, John Ferratzis. Today's game was directed by John Gonzalez. NFL on NBC studio shows produced by Ricky Diamond and directed by John Gilmartin. Our thanks all year to Ross Slingshot Schneiderman and Joe Costanza helping us in the booth.
Slingshot.
35 seconds to go. And Gardocki with a punt to Coleman. Soft toward the sidelines, keeping it away from Coleman and out of bounds inside the 15. The post-game show will have all the answers of this weekend, and I'm sure we'll make some predictions about next week. How do you like Indianapolis and Kansas City? What do you think the key there is, Phil?
Well, Jim Harbaugh better have those running shoes on again, because he's going to be under pressure. Kansas City defense, I think, is the best in the AFC, maybe one of the, besides San Francisco, the best in the NFL. Those two are the two best, and Kansas City, the week off is always a big factor in the playoffs.
You know, and one of the things, too, you know, we talked earlier about Lindy Infante being out for 3 years out of pro football, and he was quoted, or noted as then one of the finest offensive coordinators in the game. Well, the game plan that he put in for this game was truly remarkable.
He didn't lose his touch, that's for sure, in those years out.
Humphreys to Ronnie Harmon, who has to use the sidelines and ducks out of bounds at the 27-yard line. A big game statistically for Ronnie Harmon in defeat. 9 catches for 113 yards. As you look at Infante, he said, I've always been a frustrated architect. I used that 3-year hiatus to build myself a home and had a lot of time to think about football. Didn't know if I'd come back or not.
Well, you know, and it's got to be also rewarding to be an offensive coordinator with a quarterback. I hope we're not belaboring this point about Harbaugh, but he is just such a tremendous human being, and all the stuff that Jim Harbaugh has gone through all of his life, and here he is now, truly a successful quarterback, the #1 quarterback in the National Football League.
Threes to Harmon again, gets his 10th catch out at the 46-yard line. Ray Buchanan, the tackler, and that won't give the Chargers enough time to get off another play. Congratulations to Ted Marchibroda and the Indianapolis Colts. The one visitor to win on this wild card weekend. And the new star in Indianapolis is Zach. Number 32, Zach Crockett. 147-yard day for a man who had never gained a yard in an NFL game. Let's go down to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Dick. I'm standing here with Jim Harbaugh. Jim, when the season began, you could have never imagined this, could you?
It's to be honest with you, if I would wished for things at the beginning of the season to come true, I wouldn't have wished for them this good. Everything that's happened to me has just been a blessing from God, and I'm just so thankful to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Jim, when Marshall Faulk went down after the first run in the first series, could you have ever imagined what Zach Crockett did?
Zach was unbelievable. I mean, it was crazy the way he was running out there, and that 165-yarder. I mean, it was just a beautiful thing. And you got to give so much credit to our offensive line who've taken some knocks and some shots this year. They've done a great job. Gave me time to pass today, and also gave the good run blocking up front.
The first time this team has won a playoff game in 24 years. That's an awful long time. What does it say about this franchise to come in here on the road and win the first time in 11 games for any AFC team to win a wild card game?
Well, not too many people gave us a chance, and we play pretty well when our backs are up against the wall. It's a lot of character on this football team, and they play with a lot of courage. And just like to say hi to my mom and dad and all my family, and thanks for all the support.
Kansas City, what about the Chiefs?
We're going to get ready for them. It's just good. We're still working, and we know they got the best record in football. And outside of that, I'm going to go celebrate a little bit.
All right, Jim, thanks for joining us. Dick?
All right, Jim Harbaugh, captain comeback. He didn't need to provide any last quarter heroics today. His defense and a young runner named Zach Crockett made it much easier than some of the other conquests of this season. I'd like to hear what Zach Crockett has to say. Do we have time to talk to him? Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thanks, Dick. The hero today, Zach Crockett. Zach, you had 1 carry, no yards rushing before today as a rookie. Today, 13 carries, 147 yards. What about this performance? How did this happen?
Oh, today was like a big step. I had to come up and show what I can do. You know, I have been behind Rosie all year. It was a great guy to learn behind, and this was a big game against Junior Seau. And everybody all week they've been telling me that, you know, you got to go and play a big game. You got to step it up as a rookie. You know, I haven't played all year, but find time to step it up, playoff game. Got to come out and show my stuff, and running behind my offensive line. Oh man, they just did a hell of a job today, and we just had to go out there and take care of business.
Didn't seem as though the Colt backfield bothered them at all when Marshall went down.
Oh man, everyone knew they had to pull their part, and you know, Lamont, me, Humphrey, and Cliff, we had to just go out there and do our thing, and then as we did all, we listened to the coaches and learned, and we just came out there to put it all on the field.
Tell us about the 66-yard run.
Oh, I just had to stride it out. Some people think a big guy can't run. Hey, I had to show them today that a big guy can't run.
You weren't born the last time the Colts won a playoff game.
Oh man, I was born in 1972, so you know, hey, I'm still a young jit, but I got to go out there and take care of business against Kansas City next week. You know.
Zach, congratulations to you.
All right.
Dick, back upstairs to you.
Well, Jim Harbaugh let it rip, and the big guy made it stride out. 2 long touchdown runs, 33 and 66 yards. The Indianapolis Colts prevail 35-20. For Paul McGuire, Phil Simms, Jim Gray, I'm Dick Enberg, wishing all of you happiest of New Year. And we say so long from San Diego, California, as we send you to our NFL on NBC studio in New York right after these messages.
God.